We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
Oh, wow. Right on the tip. Just on the tip.
And Blabs. Co-hosted by our friends from around the internet.
There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times.
If you're just a normal man looking for common sense in this crazy-ass world, you've come to the right place. And now, broadcasting from our homes from around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers.
Okay, you ready? Open wide!
Ooh, welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com, and of course, SideScrollersPodcast.com. What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday to you. It is finished. Strong Friday. Here we are, friends. Great to see you. I am Stuttering Craig. Man, we got a good one today. So much to talk about. We have a great group of friends joining us today, and starting off with the one, the only Queen of Guam, Blabs.
Hi, I've been really productive today, and I even had bacon. It's like, wow, Friday.
Productive and bacon? Wow.
Yeah, it's been legit.
Let's go. Let's go. Good for you, Blaz. Way to start your day with some bacon.
And pasta. It was pasta carbonara.
Whoa.
What?
It's not even lunchtime. You're already even pasta?
I had it for breakfast.
What? Who eats pasta for breakfast?
Well, it was like almost 11 in the morning, and I was like, hey, it's lunchtime somewhere.
It is truly lunchtime somewhere, Blaz. That's good.
And I wanted my pasta, so what's wrong with that?
Good for you, Blabs. Way to get them carbs and fat.
Yeah.
Let's go. Love that. Let's go.
Oh, one roll. It's fine, guys. I'm crushing it.
No, you do your thing, Blabs. You do you. It's all right. Go get them carbs. Go get them bacon. Did you kill your pig?
I don't have a pig.
Well, I don't
know.
No,
I wouldn't. Listen, I don't take satisfaction in putting livestock out unless it's their misery. Then I'm like, I'll help you.
Well, you don't have to take satisfaction in killing them. You can have satisfaction in eating them, though.
I mean, I love bacon. Pancetta. That was good. You know?
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Okay, this is actually really important. Let's bring in our wonderful guest today. First, one of the hardest grinders I know on YouTube. And I've told him this personally, and I'm going to tell everybody now. It's Hypnotic. Hypnotic, good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing very well.
Now.
He's ready.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Let me rock, man. Let me rock. I'm getting there.
but hey, pre-show, Hypnotic comes in. He's like, hello.
Okay, all right. Now you're being really dramatic. It's really dramatic. I was not like that. All right, Hypnotic does sleep, contrary to popular belief. All right, I do.
All of 2 hours.
Yeah, you got your 2 hours and you're ready to go. Well, glad you're here, buddy. How's everything going? How's the Bigot Army treating you?
I'm good, man. Bigot Army's good. We're loving it, and thank you for having us. We're having a good time.
You're always welcome. Welcome, Army. Also joining us today from the amazing Salty Nerd Podcast, my boy, Matt Kadish. Great to see you, buddy. How are you?
Hey, Craig. Thanks for having me on. Always happy to be on Side Scrollers. You are killing it with this show. Love it. It's one of my favorite live streams to watch, especially with the clips, because Blabs is all over the clips, and I love watching Blabs.
Thanks.
Hey, let's just make this really weird and do.
Hi.
Hey, Blabs.
I'll do one even better. Why doesn't this zoom in? Oh, it's over here now. Whoa!
Whoa!
It moved. Anyway, hey, how's it going?
Going good. How are you doing?
Going good.
My wife's a big fan of yours.
Like right there.
My wife's a super fan of yours. She loves your Harry Potter obsession.
Dude,
yeah.
Listen, I love that people just come to my YouTube channel just to watch Harry Potter stuff and geek out with me. It makes my day. It makes my day. Yeah.
It does.
I'll let Craig back in now. He's just looking at me like, you piece of shit. Hi. Come and knock on my door.
You two lovebirds done?
Never, Craig.
Never.
My heart belongs to another.
Man.
Yeah.
What's that?
5 minutes into the stream, he takes a shot. That's pretty impressive. Normally,
I don't waste time.
Yeah,
get going. I love it.
But I can confirm Hypnotic came on like.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. You
confirmed.
Give James Earl Jones a run for his money.
Yeah, man. Good.
Yeah.
They do need a replacement now, Hypnotic, and you could fill them, which is good.
You know, it is what it is. I mean, what am I even going to say?
No, I love it, buddy. Well, we're glad you guys are here. We got a big show today here. We're going to finish the week strong as always, and thank you very much for the wonderful, kind words there, Matt. Yeah, we got a great community here of just normal men, which is wonderful. So, look, I want to remind everybody we are live over at rumble.com/sidescrollers. Encourage you guys to head over there, hit the subscribe button if you like the free speech thing. It's great. Closing in on 10,000 followers over there. Why do we love Rumble Blabs?
Because it grows organically, unlike Viagra.
Yeah. We also have an X account where you could have found out that Kadish and Hypnotic were going to be on the show simply by following us at SidescrollerPod. We also have an Instagram account, don't we, Blabs?
We do, so follow us for music clips of the show. Otherwise, Hypnotic and or Matt are going to hang you from your toenails upside down like a bat.
Yep.
Very common.
Wow.
Thing. It's very, she's dark. It's dark. For
You
sure.
told me.
No, I
like,
appreciate
Blabs, you need to get dark. You need to get gritty. And here I am, like, all right, hang you upside down by your chains, like in Shrek 2.
Craig, that's just how I roll. You know, she's just being real.
That's good stuff. There's Mistress Blabs. That's her alter ego over here, which is good. Hi. We also have a Kick account at kick.com/sidescrollers, and you can listen to the show over on Apple Podcast and Spotify. But once again, the place you want to go if you're thinking about supporting us, if you see any value in our show at all, you want to head over to sidescrollerspodcast.com. The link is directly above me. It's also down in the description below. It's a great place to go. You're going to get notified every time we go live. And also, you're going to get bonus content over there, including the Golden Era documentary based around the development of GoldenEye 007 back on the N64. We have a full-length 90-something minute documentary. It's going to be going live exclusively for supporters on Monday. So head on over there and hop in and support your show, support your boys and your girl. We'd really appreciate it. And just as a little bit of sugar on top, if you use promo code GOLDEN, you'll get $27 off an annual membership. And on top of all that, with the annual membership, you can get everything else we're going to do throughout the year, which is going to be a lot. So with that said, head over there, sidescrollerspodcast.com. If you are new to us over here on YouTube, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button. Join the 95,427 normal men who love common sense in the video game and entertainment world. And let's do our best to get to 1,000 likes today. I would be remiss if I didn't remind everybody today is the last day to submit category nominations for the Real Game Awards. We are going to be locking down. We're doing 25 awards this year, 20 positive, 5 bad. And so if you want to go over there and you want to nominate, become a voting member, and you can submit your category nominations today, right now, because we'll be locking them in and start doing the nominations for said nominations coming up next month. So yeah, there we go. We got a lot going on. With that said, Blabs, please fill us in on today in video game history.
Okie dokies. I just, clicked this morning that it's actually Friday the 13th. So, yeah. Anyway, Port Royale 2 was released back in 2004. We have BioShock, the collection, releasing back in 2016. And then we have Borderlands 3 releasing back in 2019, which is ironic because, the whole Borderlands conversation yesterday. And yes, I know I've pissed off Craig already. I've seen the notifications, but you know what? Too bad. Too bad, bro. You gonna say anything?
Blabs.
No. Listen, you can fire me now. It's fine. Go ahead.
Look at me.
What?
Blabs.
Mm-hmm.
Today, on September 13th, you missed
a dick.
Hey, that's on you. If that's what you missed, that's on you, Blabs. All right, I'm just saying. If that's what you missed, hey, you do you. But I guarantee you can go find that whenever you want. I'm just telling you, Blabs. All right. All right. You missed Dino Crisis 2.
Oh, whatever.
Oh, that's rough.
You missed Capcom versus SNK 2 for the Dreamcast and PlayStation. Oh,
that's
Burnout
bad.
Revenge for the Xbox. One of the best Burnout games, period. Mario Tennis Power Tour. Super Mario Brothers released for the GBA 19 years ago.
The chat's starting a new hashtag, Fire Blabs. It's not good.
This happens like every day. It's fine.
You missed Super Smash Brothers for the 3DS and the Wii U.
That's bad.
10
Sorry.
years
Whose side
ago.
are you on?
I'm on your side, except for that.
You missed Recore and Borderlands 3.
What the
5
fuck?
years
What do you
ago.
mean? I didn't miss shit. It's right here. Are you blind?
Listen, I was so lost by you missing Super
You
Smash
didn't even
Brothers.
listen to my freaking top 3 selection today. You were just so focused on trying to wrap me.
Okay, so here's the thing, guys. We're just gonna...
I was right.
All right.
You got to
Okay,
revoke her
yeah.
admin.
In real
Craig.
life. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Mhm. Yeah,
Great.
this is rough stuff, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty disappointed today, Blabs.
don't care.
He was waiting for that.
She was sitting on that button ready to go. All right, well, look, we got a great stuff. We got a lot to go on. A Karate Kid actor is dead. It's a sad day, and if you watch the original Karate Kid, you're gonna know exactly who this person is. We have some Switch rumors. We're gonna get on the PlayStation 5 Pro train. We're gonna be talking about that a little bit. We have a game that is built specifically for Blabs. We're going to be talking about in a little bit. There's been an entire studio that has resigned, and we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on. The Assassin's Creed art director is out, and he's like, "Hey, man, we tried," and he thinks that's okay. And of course, it's Friday, which means we're going to get into Clown World. But first,
No, first Matthew has something to say.
Yes, Matthew.
Yeah, I have a question. So since it is Friday the 13th, and I was traveling all last week, I didn't get a chance to see this. Craig, I am so interested in your live stream with Darkside Phil. I know that the first time that you had Phil on the show with Adam, you guys absolutely destroyed him. But I really wanted to see the follow-up, the rematch, and I haven't had a chance to see it yet. So I want to know from the horse's mouth, how'd it go?
I'm glad to be done with this page on the chapter of side scrollers. It went fine. And I stand by everything I said in that. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure you'll like the cliff notes.
I want to watch all 5 hours. Yeah.
This was only, I think, an hour and a half or 2 hours long this time. But I'll say this, it was very DSP. And we'll just leave it at that. It was the most DSP thing you can get as far as me going on his show. So
I watched it. It was good.
Yeah, it was extremely DSP. And then people are like, "Man, you killed him." It's like I was just talking to him. It's like sometimes you just gotta let people talk, and they'll do it to themselves. So.
I feel like it was the video game version of Trump versus Kamala. It was just like,
well, which one was I?
Oh, you were definitely Trump.
Oh, it was huge. All right, there you go.
Huge.
All right, there we go. GJJ came in and says, "Hail all." That's a year-long membership right there. Love that. Black Metal Gamer says, "We need a female YouTube channel called Taylor Grift." All right. Thank you for that. Godzilla's Greaser came in and says, "Happy Friday the 13th. No entry in the franchise isn't entertaining. And Jason's still the king of slashers." There you go, Godzilla's Greasers. Thank you very much.
Just a fun fact for Friday the 13th. Lego has released new sets for Wednesday. You know the Wednesday show?
Oh, yeah.
Netflix?
Yeah.
They released like 1 or 2 sets. So if you're a Lego fan, you like Wednesday, that today.
Did you guys see that show, the Wednesday show?
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
They fired that dude, didn't they? The main protagonist, the dude with the long hair, didn't they fire him over like sexual harassment charges or something?
Who doesn't get fired for that in Hollywood these days?
True, but yeah, that's kind of shitty because he's like what, 20? Kid or something? Wasn't he 18? Something like that. Anyway.
They're canceling them young.
I can't speak on that. Yeah, that's right. They're going after the career before you have one, which is great. Magnum says, "When is Game Awards and why will it be gay?" Well, the Jeff Keighley Awards are going to be in December, and I'll tell you, the real Game Awards will be in January. Just enough time to make fun of it, which will be great. So, Levi says, "Hypnotic on side scrollers. Hail the Bigot Army." Let's go, Levi. Thank you very much. Great to see
Hail
you.
Levi.
Let's go. Also, Katika, the Cyan Jedi, says, "Hey, Craig and crew, just wanted to say Wednesday was my birthday, and that because of you guys, I'm thinking about getting back into streaming and possibly going to the VTuber route. Have a great day."
Happy birthday.
Way to go. Happy birthday. Way to get older and go get it.
Way to get old.
Way to get older. That's all. It's good stuff. All right. We do see every super chat, every direct donation, every Rumble rant. We will read every single one of them throughout the show. And we'll pop on these down to the bottom as they read memberships as we go along as well. So thank you.
By the way, it's Craig. It's saying the chat's gonna roast you for that. They already started.
What did I say? Sayin?
You said Saiyan.
Oh, I said Saiyan. I usually say Saiyan. Like
no, it's like Super Saiyan.
Yeah. Like Saiyan. Yeah, like SAY.
That's okay. I just see the chat doing it. I'm like, let me just do it quick.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I do misspeak quite frequently on this show.
I do too all the time. I get roasted all the time. Don't worry about it.
No, I've been roasted for 20 years, my friend. I'm all good, baby. When it comes
part of
to
the contract to harass Craig at least once a day.
That's right.
5 days a week.
That's true.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, it's no big deal. It happens all the time, which is great. All right, let's get into it. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. Matt, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's time for hard news. All right, we're going to start off strong here with Blabs, with the Blabs special here, as she is beyond excited about the upcoming Planet Coaster 2, ladies and gentlemen. Blabs, please fill us in on everything we need to know about this monstrosity.
Well, listen, Adam asked the great question. Can I shoot to their death?
Did you just say axed?
Asked.
Okay, just making sure. I thought you...
Please going around the table correcting. I like it. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, I thought we were going out straight out of the hood right there for a second, Blabs.
Language police.
Yeah, that's right. All right, what do we got here, Blabs?
Right. Okay. So there's this new roller coaster video game coming out, and here's the thing: I've never played the first one. I have played Zoo Planet, and I'm not that big of a fan of it. And like in comparison to Zoo Tycoon, like the original Microsoft games, it's nothing. It's crap, really. But I am kind of intrigued by this one. But the best question though comes from Adam. Like I was saying, can you shoot people from the coaster into a pit of death? Because that is what I aspire to do. That is what I want to do. And unfortunately, that question remains unanswered. And I really, really hope I can do that. Because if so, I will be getting this game and I will be killing everybody.
Have you guys played any of the roller coaster tycoons?
Yeah.
Not you, Blabs. We all know you have.
I haven't.
No?
I haven't either. But the thing I find more shocking is that Blabs doesn't follow Adam on X.
Yes, I do. That's not my account.
Yeah.
Well, whatever account you were using. It was like, poor Adam.
Is that
doesn't
Craig's
have a follower.
Account?
It's my non-dummy account. Yes. I don't even know what you're talking about. So here's a guy who played it, Blabs. Let me see if I can get some gameplay here of a Planet Tycoon. See, oh look, this looks like these people are about to die. Here you go. Some gameplay for you, Blabs. I'm sure you're gonna be very excited for this. Here we go. This guy is putting some sort of looks very dangerous.
That is not how
so
that works.
Let's see what happens. Let's just hopefully this guy doesn't blue ball us here. Oh no. I think I'm just gonna say right now. I think that you will be able to murder people in this game.
I'm so down. I will be so there if I can murder stuff. I like pyrotechnic stuff.
Well, this is good. This is important stuff, and I'm glad that we found it.
Show us people dying. Digital Dan, you blue baller.
Fucking Digital Dan. Well,
that guy.
Hey, Blabs, were you the type that when you played The Sims, you would just put the Sims in a room with no doors and no food and no toilet and just watch them suffer?
No, because I never played The Sims. I was always killing people in Zoo Tycoon and Jurassic World instead.
Okay.
So another kind of death. Like
well, Sims couldn't die, but they could just suffer. They'd just like sit in their own pools of pee and stuff like that.
I'd rather just kill them. Honestly. Yeah. Just a nice explosion, or like them getting eaten or something. Or like
when I watch
Blabs
videos, I don't get this I don't get this vibe.
Right.
When I watch her videos, I'm like super innocent Harry Potter girl smiling, and now she's just like kill them all. Like I don't.
Dude,
I mean, I'm into it. Don't get me wrong. I'm a little taken back. That's all. No.
You guys have never built an amazing park or zoo and then close off the entrance so people can't leave, and then you unleash all the animals? Have you never done that with Zoo Tycoon where you can let all the T-Rexes out and they just eat the people? And they can't leave because you fenced off the exit and the entrance. You fence it off so they can't leave. I really gotta do this. I should do this live one day so you guys can see it.
As Hypnotic slowly backs away.
Oh yeah.
Right. I'm with you. Let's just all just kind of.
You guys have never done that before. You've never killed people in Roller Coaster Tycoon. This is what I used to do as a child. People think I'm like this little butterfly thing, but no.
I'm just gonna come down here.
As a child?
Yeah, I used to. Listen. I still play Zoo Tycoon. I was really playing it last night. It's in here. I had to restart my zoo because I could not get to 5 stars, and I kept going bankrupt.
What house were you in Harry Potter again?
Gryffindor.
Yeah, it's bullshit. I'm sorry. You go to Slytherin. Go right to
No,
Slytherin.
it's for real. Gryffindor was sorted twice officially.
It just proves Gryffindor is actually the bad guys.
Yeah.
Just proves it.
Listen, I chuck snakes too in real life.
Blab shall not be named anymore.
Joke. What a weirdo.
All right, Craig. I'm gonna get canceled today later. That's great.
That's okay. Listen, if Blabs hasn't been canceled yet, you won't be canceled, all right? Because she's over here talking about murdering people and smiling while doing so.
Pyrotechnics is great, man. Great.
I got a
fun.
psychopath as my producer, which is
Yeah. You knew this already.
Yeah.
She's not locked in here with us, Craig. We're locked in here with her.
Yes. All right. Okay. Let's see if we can move on from that. I can't wait till we see. Like, we should just do like top 10 Blabs death traps.
Yeah, that'd be so fun.
It'd be great. Hey, Brandon came in as a Brandon member. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate that. That's excellent. And also, GJJ gifted 10 membos to the channel. That's awesome. Hey, if you guys got gifted membership, make sure you guys say thanks. That's spectacular. Thank you so much, GJJ. That's wonderful. And Krusty's back. Look at that. Krusty, great to see you. Let's go.
Krusty Needles?
Yeah, it's Krusty.
Her original name.
Krusty's my boy. Great to see you, Krusty. All right. The guy came and says, Hail Side Scrollers. Hello, Matt. As you can see from my picture, the talk between me and Craig went well. 'Tis but a scratch. There we go. It's the guy. There he is. Thank you. Appreciate that, the guy. All right. Once again, we see all your super chats, all your direct donations. We'll get to every single one throughout the show. But let's first move on to a noticeable death in the world of Hollywood. At least, maybe not necessarily a noticeable death in all of Hollywood, but a noticeable death to maybe my childhood and possibly y'all's childhood. Probably not Blabs' childhood. But
I've seen the movies.
Well, she was busy doing death traps in her childhood.
Yeah, I was one eye on the killing machines and Roller Coaster Tycoon, the other one on the TV watching Karate Kid.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to show you this guy's face, and you're going to know immediately who this guy is and what he said.
Mm-hmm.
This guy right here. It's Dutch from the Karate Kid, Chad McQueen. I didn't know he was Steve McQueen's son, but he has passed on to the other realm. Sad day. Everybody knows this guy, man, and it's tough to say goodbye to this guy. But I'll tell you what, this is my favorite scene in the movie right here, or one of my favorite scenes in the movie right here.
Well, look who we have here, fellas. Our little friend Danielle.
Misgendering! You can't say that anymore. You can't make fun of names. Sorry. I love this scene, and he plays the bully so well in this, where he just he's making fun of him, then he walks off. I'll tell you what, man. When you look back on the Karate Kid, these dudes, and still to this day, if you were to compare Karate Kid to Cobra Kai, I think the kids in Cobra Kai look like children. And I always felt like these guys look like fucking grown-ups. Is that just me?
It's just a change of the times, man.
I guess.
It's kind of how, like, if you were to remember people, you know, in high school, back when you were in high school versus kids in high school now, I'm sure they look a lot older back then than they do now. Everything's softer now, and the image has to be softer too, especially on TV.
I guess, man.
I don't know about that though, because Hollywood's always cast like 30-year-olds to play like teenagers. Like if you watch the original Scream, like all those guys are in their 30s playing high school students. And I think wasn't Ralph Macchio like pushing 30 when he was casting Karate Kid? He looks like he's 15, but he was like way older.
Well, but the kids in Cobra Kai are not kids. They're in their 20s.
Yeah,
mid 20s too.
I just feel like they look less mature than pretty much everybody in Cobra Kai. Like Daniel looks skinny and weenie, and that's what makes Cobra Kai awesome. Is they're like the jocks. They're strong. They're confident. They're arrogant, right? And they're bigger than Daniel, which adds to the underdog story. Whereas And I have very thoroughly enjoyed Cobra Kai, which
Me too.
yeah, it's been really fun.
It's excellent.
But I'm glad it's wrapping up. With that said, but
There is the new movie too, though, the Karate Kid in 2025. Don't forget that.
Forgot.
It could be a loss in masculinity too.
Is
Over
it?
the years, I mean, it's something we're dealing with. Less and less masculinity.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you. Let me show you one of the most masculine kicks in movie history. Which this one, like Dutch had, I don't know, a paragraph worth of lines in the movie. He's a great bully. He didn't really say a whole lot, but his actions spoke loud. This kick right here, man.
I remember that.
Boof! Everybody remembers that, man. Everybody remembers this kick. Matt, do you remember
It was
this
so
kick? The over the top, then he comes right back when he stands up and it whoppers. Oh, that's great stuff. Sorry. Amazing stuff. Kadish, you I don't know. Do you have any Karate Kid memories? You want to nerd out with me?
Well, I remember it got me into karate. I took karate because of that movie. Must have watched it on the loop like 50 million times when it came out on VHS. Yes, that's how old I am. But no, man, like you know, it's kind of funny because you think about Steve McQueen. He was like the embodiment of like masculinity in the 70s and 60s, and you know, like car chases, like, you know, who can forget Bullet, right? And I had no idea that this guy was Steve McQueen's son until like you sent me this article, and so like I just had no idea of the pedigree. And fortunately, he got some type of like injury that kind of spiraled into something serious, which ended up, you know, causing his death. But was he Steve McQueen's only child or only son?
I cannot confirm or deny. I don't know.
Well, apparently Chad was saying there was two sons. One was Chad Stephen McQueen, and the other one was Stephen Chad McQueen. It's like, could you be more original?
Well, when you look at photos here of like Cobra Kai from back in the day and the original Karate Kid, like I said, he looks the most menacing of them all. You know,
but wasn't he the pastor? Didn't he like his character like evolve into like some type of pastor?
Yeah, I think so. Later in Cobra Kai.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he redeemed himself. He found Jesus.
Yeah. I love seeing these production shots, you know, when they were shooting these movies and stuff. And by the way, how 1970s is this right here? This is like the most 1970s. Yeah. Like dad on the back of a motorbike. No one's wearing a helmet, worrying about falling off and dying. It's awesome, man. It's great stuff.
Craig, have you heard about the Mr. Miyagi prequel that they're planning on doing?
Wait, what? A
You haven't
Karate
heard
Kid
about
2025 and a prequel?
No, it's a follow-up series to Cobra Kai. So after Cobra Kai ends, what they're going to do is do a Mr. Miyagi prequel series that shows like young Mr. Miyagi kind of coming up in Okinawa and going through the war and stuff like that.
So if you watched Cobra Kai, you can kind of see why, like you can see that coming. Like that's pretty obvious. I just don't like. I like it and I don't like it, right? So they explored Mr. Miyagi's past.
Craig looks verklempt.
They explored Mr. Miyagi's past, and it's great and everything. But once, like with the new season, not to spoil anything, but once they went really deep into it, it almost seems like they're trying to not villainize Mr. Miyagi, but they're just going way too far, right? Like Mr. Miyagi was supposed to be that all-encompassing figure, you know, the daddy of the series, and now they're turning him into like, he has a dark side too, and it's like. Not everybody needs that, you know.
Craig, is your eyebrow twitching? Did I make your eyebrow twitch?
I don't feel like you can come on this show anymore if you're going to talk about things like that. No, that hurts my soul. Like Cobra Kai is just enough. I don't need anything more than this, right? It was 30 years between, you know, Cobra Kai, the original Karate Kid and Cobra Kai coming out. I don't need any more lore. I've got enough Karate Kid lore. For me, it starts and stops with Daniel and Johnny, and I'm good. I'm great. You know, it'd be a nice little kicker. And if in these last 10 episodes or so, they bring back what's her name from the next Karate Kid, and she makes a cameo, and everyone
Hilary Swank.
Right. And she like appears for a scene. It's like, oh, that's like, you know. But outside of that, I don't need to know anything else. Like I'm very, very good. I don't need to know Miyagi's backstory more than we already have. And you're right, Hypnotic. I feel like they're trying to make Miyagi more complex by adding layers to him. Like he's the ultimate good guy. He has got a good heart. I don't care. I don't want to hear about him like in this new in the last part of this final season, they're like, well, he robbed this guy, and it's like, what the fuck? I don't care about that. I want Mr. Miyagi just doing crane kicks and shit.
Yep.
Just saying, it's ridiculous.
It's gonna get to a point where it's basically character assassination. Like they're gonna try to villainize him, especially when he was younger. And I feel like that's where that prequel is gonna go. If they talk about it, it's gonna explore that whole arc, why he went on the run and stuff and whatever. It's not needed.
No, it's not. It drives me crazy. God, that hurts my heart. Just you talking about that, Kadish. God.
But truthfully, they struck gold with Cobra Kai. So now they're gonna figure, all right, well, let's keep going. Why would they stop theoretically, Oh
my God. Well, they're gonna keep going until somebody keeps giving them money, right?
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Shit.
Double damn.
Damn.
Triple damn.
Let's move on. Crap. Another quick hit here. Fuck. Nintendo got it. Who the fuck cares? Are they really doing a Miyagi prequel?
Yes, they are.
God, Blabs, please find this. It's ridiculous. All right. Let me just take a second. Krusty Needles came in with a $20 direct donation. Says, been lurking in the background for a while, but glad the show is still doing well. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you, Krusty. Appreciate that, buddy. Great to see you. Welcome back. Fucking A. All right. Let's move on to some Nintendo news. Nintendo, the lifespan of the Switch is coming to an end. I think we all understand that. It's probably got another year or two left, maybe 3 tops. But they're going to be announcing the new Switch 2 here sooner than later, whether it's Switch 2 or Super Switch or whatever. So they're trying to milk it dry, right? They are, what were they, 12 million units behind the PlayStation 2 for most sold ever, Blabs? A couple days ago, we talked about that. Most
Oh, were you
sold.
saying PlayStation 2? No, I don't remember those numbers.
Yeah, the most consoles sold. Right now, the PlayStation 2 has the most sold ever with 155 million. The Switch is behind at 143 million, right? So they're about 12 million units behind. So they are milking it, baby, and they have announced a new Switch OLED model that includes Mario Wonder. So if you're still on the fence about picking it up, you got Mario Wonder and the upgraded Switch coming your way with the OLED. I don't know. Does this get anybody's panties in a twist here? Like excited to go buy a new Switch for whatever reason?
Why is everyone else besides me wearing panties? First of all,
It's just a saying, Blabs.
Who says we're wearing them? We could just have them.
That's right.
If not, I can actually just twist them when he's really excited on stream. He's like,
Exactly.
whoa!
Yeah. Well, if you're not wearing them, how do you get them in a bunch? So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, is anybody? Did everybody enjoy Wonder? Did everyone play Wonder?
I think that the bigger thing here is that, so my kid has a Switch and he loves his Switch. And when I was a kid, I had a Game Boy and I loved my Game Boy. The fact that you have a Switch with a slightly better screen, I don't know if that's like a big enough thing to get excited about, but I would be interested to hear more about like what Nintendo's planning to follow up with, because you just know that every kid under 10 years old is going to be wanting one of those things.
And every kid over 40 years old will also want one of them as well.
Aside from collectors, right? I kind of had this conversation last night on stream with the PS5 Pro. It's kind of like the same mindset. But aside from collectors, I just never saw the point of going from the console you have to an OLED version of it. I understand OLED's better. Don't get me wrong. I get it. But to spend all that money again to get an upgraded like screen version of it, I just don't understand. This is just like you said, it's milking it, and I get it. That there's definitely a market for it. I'm not stupid, but I never personally saw the point.
You know what I think one of the worst things that ever happened to video games was the upgraded version of the Nintendo Entertainment System that came like 6 or 7 years after, because people went out and bought that one, like the top loader, and it looked a little different, right? So that told the industry that people are willing to buy the same version of the same thing multiple times. And,
well, that's what I said last night. Like this is console DLC. That's what this is. Like you're selling console DLC.
Well, it's also like if you look at the DVD industry, I mean, you have people buying the same thing with like different features. So, I mean, I think that's just human behavior. It's like if you like something, you want to get every version of it because it's got new stuff and you can enjoy it again for the first time type deal. But like my big thing, I guess, is like the games, right? So like if a new console comes out, you get the new console because that's where the new games are going to be, and that's what you want to play.
Right.
So with the Nintendo Switch, I never really understood the appeal of the Switch, other than just like, okay, you get to play like Zelda and Mario games and stuff like that. But you wait a couple years, you can get the emulators that come out unofficially and play those things as well on a computer for free. So that's just me. But I'm a big mobile gamer. Like I don't need a Switch. I just have my cell phone here. I know that might be blasphemy to say, but as an adult, as a child over 40, I'm like, well, my kid can have his Switch and I have my cell phone. I don't need to spend that extra money. So,
well, I see Dev coming in, says, didn't every console get a revision except the N64, though there was the Pikachu N64? Well, Dev,
the GameCube.
Well, I'd also like to point out all the colors that which made it a collectible nightmare along the way. With the N64, everyone had to get every single color, and if you knew a kid who had all the colors, you were like, "Whoa, that's amazing!" Even today, those are fairly rare, just for the different color casings. I think did the GameCube see an updated version of it later?
I don't recall there ever being an updated version.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, well, that's interesting.
GameCube's kind of like the redheaded stepchild of Nintendo. They didn't ever talk about it.
It is it underperformed for sure, but those who loved it for sure. Interesting about this as well, you don't even get a physical copy of the game. Mario Wonder's just pre-installed down to the bottom down here. It's so that kind of sucks.
Oh, but that's kind of like the old Switch. So when I got my Switch, it was gifted to me with the Mario Kart already installed in the Switch already. So it's not something new, really.
No. But let's say you buy this new Switch model, right? And they're going to be announcing this new Switch 2 here in the next few months or something along those lines. You kind of know what you're getting into, I would imagine. Or maybe you don't. You're like a parent who's like, well, I really am thinking about buying a console for my kids, and that Nintendo one looks pretty good. And then you buy it, and then 6 months later, they're like, well, guess what? Here's the brand new one, by the way. Do you feel I'd feel kind of cheated if I'm a non-informed consumer and I go out and buy it? Or is that mainly my fault?
If you're non-informed, I don't know. I don't know if you would feel cheated.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that so whenever my kid wants a game, if like we're in Target, for instance, like you never get a physical copy of it. You take like a little card from the video game aisle, you pay for that card, and then you go home to your Switch and type in the code, and the code allows you to download the game. And so like you never get a physical copy, even when you're in the store to buy a physical copy, you never get the physical copy. So it's a completely different world from when like we were kids, we were coming up, and you used to have the cartridges that you could blow into and all that stuff. I can understand the evolution, right? Because it saves video game makers money, and it's kind of convenient for people to just download stuff instead of having to store all these video games somewhere. But at the same time, there's something nice about having like a physical copy of stuff that you purchase.
Physical is king for sure. Will always be king. So, all right. Well, there you go. Some more Nintendo news. Another quick hit here. So the guy who leaked the PlayStation 5 Pro is at it again, this time with some Switch 2 rumors. And he got the price point for the PlayStation 5 Pro accurate. And now he's aiming at the Switch 2, saying that the Switch 2 will have two different SKUs or models and have a base price of $400. There's not a whole clarification, though. So we're now at a $400 price point for the Switch 2, whatever it's going to be called. I would say probably the second one will be $450 or $500 as we see the price of consoles continues to rise. Obviously, the PlayStation 5 Pro, the price of that universally was pretty much rejected to half court by most of the internet, although it is selling out. At least the physical disc drive is. I don't know. Y'all's thoughts on a $400 Switch 2?
No thanks.
Seems a little pricey to me.
Okay, it like you could get a refurbished PlayStation 5 for how much?
But does it have Mario? Does it have, all the Nintendo games? That's the thing. I go back to this every single time. Like when you buy a Nintendo console, you're buying it for Nintendo games.
Yeah, and I understand that, but like, no, I don't. For me personally, I don't play enough Nintendo to even warrant spending.
I think it's pretty spot on.
400. I think
Yeah.
with the way things have gone, that's to be expected as well.
Why would that be shocking? That's my question.
Yeah. I think that I think you're right, Hypnotic. I think just where the market is right now. And we also don't know what the console is, right? So maybe it's a fully backwards compatible version with the Switch. You can play, every console generation. Who knows? You have no idea what it's going to be yet. So to say $400 is too much, I don't know. I can't really say
I think
that
that's
right
just.
now.
I think it's a personal preference for anybody. Do you play enough Nintendo to warrant upgrading to a $400 console?
Well, keep in mind the OLED model is $349 for the current Switch.
Huh.
So $50 increase.
What was the original price of the Switch? Was it $250?
250, 300, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
They're basically, here's what they do. They always just go half of whatever the the main like Sony and Microsoft, half of whatever they do. That's usually like where it falls. So, PS5 is 500, Switch was 250. PS5 Pro is $800 or whatever now with a disc drive. So Nintendo Switch being for 350, 400, it's not exactly super shocking, especially with how everything's a little more expensive now. I think $400 for a Switch, yeah, parents are gonna blow money on that so easily. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Hey,
It'll be a
great
top seller.
Christmas gift, graduation present, birthdays.
And like you guys said, this is what I was saying on the stream yesterday. If they take away console exclusives from PlayStation or Xbox, which I know they kind of slowly are, I'll never buy another console again aside from a Nintendo product, because there's no reason. Like, I'm a PC gamer at heart. The only reason why I even have a PS5 is for Demon Souls. Like, literally, that's in Final Fantasy. But now Final Fantasy is on PC. So if they ever start, putting games like Demon Souls and whatnot on PC, I do not ever need a console ever again. I'll just buy a Nintendo product because I can't get Zelda on PC. I can't get Mario on PC. So, they're not stupid. They know their fan base, and that's why Nintendo will always be around.
I'm with you 100%. We had this conversation. It's been a really in-depth conversation with Mark the Cyborg when he was on the show. He is adamant that console exclusives are dumb, right? And he's like, Nintendo could sell way more copies of Zelda or Metroid or Mario if it was available on every console, which he's probably right. But at the same time, it loses what makes Nintendo so great, right? The exclusivity, the charm and the specialness that goes into the Nintendo console.
Well, it's the Apple model, right? They create their own ecosystem and they shut out everything else, just like Blabs' death traps, and they keep you trapped in this ecosystem so that you have to keep buying their stuff. And Nintendo's whole thing, they could probably sell more video games, but they're more interested in selling the hardware. So that they can trap people into their ecosystem, and
that's what I was going to say.
And they legally go after all the emulators and all that stuff for that specific reason.
Yeah, you could sell more copies. Like, you could sell more games on other. Yeah, sure, but you're going to sell less consoles. Like, if you're putting your games on other consoles, then there's less likely they're going to get a Switch, because now they don't have to get a Switch.
I think the bigger thing, if you want to continue down from a business perspective, is Nintendo usually sells their consoles at a loss. But you have a platform with whatever Nintendo console it is. And the bigger thing, like, this is in the 90s, right? And the internet didn't exist. Okay, we can talk about the idea of exclusives being stupid. But now that you have a platform and you're taking 30% of every game that's sold on your platform, like, that's what they don't want to give up, because they sell millions of copies of games, which lead to millions of dollars of revenue every month, based off of them selling these games, just having that platform. So that's the one thing that I think is probably the most important thing to Nintendo. Yeah, they could sell more games. They would sell less consoles, sell more games by putting it on an Xbox or PC or whatever, but they sell less consoles, which ultimately downstream generates less revenue for them. So, All right. Well, I saw this as well. And I thought this was really, we've seen these comparisons of like the PlayStation 5 Pro versus the Dreamcast. And I saw this one as well as for the Super Nintendo versus PlayStation 5 Pro. And it talks about the differences, obviously the 60 FPS versus might hit 60 FPS, half price the first model, $200 more than the first model. Obviously the 700 or more than 400 exclusives, about a dozen exclusives. Says more than 7 modes, which, by the way, I'm guessing they're just really stupid and thought mode 7 was a thing, like 7 different modes. Mode 7 was a graphical thing instead of 7 different modes. So they're really dumb. But I don't know. It's just kind of fun to kind of look at the comparisons between the two, between this specifically the SNES control deck, I guess is the second model that came out later, versus the Pro itself. Are we just looking at this through nostalgia, or do you think that the Super Nintendo in that era specifically, that the gamers got more value for what they were buying?
I would agree with that, because there weren't as many options back then. I believe Super Nintendo, correct me if I'm wrong, came out before even the first PlayStation. So you had Nintendo and Sega basically, and Nintendo was always ahead of the curve when it came to new consoles and new games and stuff like that. But it was also a different mindset. Like nowadays, it's all about, okay, like, can we get people online? Can we get them into live services, like stuff like that? And so it's not just a video game console. It's like a home media entertainment center. You can watch movies on it. You can do this, you can do that. And back in the day, it was just like, hey, like, we're just here to play video games. And that's what they optimize the gaming systems for. So I think that there's a little bit of nostalgia there, but at the same time, I feel like the industry was more pure back in the day, and they were more focused on delivering good gameplay as opposed to, being like the center of your like living room, essentially.
Yeah. Especially with Nintendo, they were trying to focus on couch play. Like, they wanted the family involved, friends involved, that kind of a thing. That way, you could sell controllers, sell accessories, sell all that kind of stuff.
I think that I think the GameCube, we talked about that a few minutes ago. I think that was a very big decision, for a very big marker for the Nintendo company as a whole, because that was seen as a powerful console when it was released. It was designed to compete with the PlayStation, and they're like, you know what, this is dumb, and that's where the Wii came from, because if you're always trying to be the biggest, baddest, strongest, it's going to be a very hard road to climb, right?
Yeah.
Or hill to climb. But if you just you're like, look, we're not going to be the strongest, but we're going to give you the best and the most original, and we're going to create things that are exclusive to our platform. I think that obviously was the big decision maker and what ultimately led to the Wii.
Craig, do you remember what the big selling proposition of the GameCube was, though? Which was that, hey, Xbox and PlayStation, they take up so much room. Like, here's a space-saving option for people. Like, the GameCube was small. It was going to be something that was low profile and wasn't going to take up a lot of space. And I think that was actually like kind of Nintendo's gambit on that one. It wasn't so much that it was powerful. It was that it was more aesthetically like convenient for a lot of people who didn't want these like huge game consoles taking up space in their living room and stuff like that. But yeah. I do think that Nintendo learned a lot from the GameCube, and which led to the Wii, and the whole like motion control stuff for the Wii. That was something that all the other like Xbox and PlayStation were behind the curve on, and that's what. When people saw like the graphics for the Wii, they weren't impressed. But at the same time, it's like, okay, here's this new feature that can be fun for the family, give gamers who are typically just like, fat white dudes sitting on their couch, reason to get off their butts and be active and stuff like that. So it was actually like a really, really smart gambit for Nintendo to go the more physical motion control route with like new technology, as opposed to just trying to compete on graphics or performance or something like that.
Well, it's the gamble is paid off in a major way. Nintendo, I don't know. I personally think Nintendo's kind of in its class of its own, doing its own thing and its own. I think there's the video game industry, and then I feel like there's Nintendo. And I know that sounds really Nintendo fanboyish, but like I think that
you're right.
I think that between Sony and Microsoft, they're pretty much doing the exact same damn thing right now. And there's a lot of gray. If you were to look at the Venn diagram of the two companies, there's a lot of crossover in that Venn diagram. And there's not a whole lot of crossover when it comes to Nintendo and those two companies. So
Yep. Yeah, you're 100% right, man. Nintendo does not compete with Sony and Microsoft. They
only
don't compete with anybody.
Yeah, they compete with themselves. They're focused on quality. It's funny. I saw a video about Nintendo a few days ago about them developing in the 90s. And they said, like, we're not competing against anybody. We are only worried about quality and producing the best quality product, and everything else will come from it. And it's like, I feel like they're still doing that today. So good for them. Love it. All right, we got some more. We're going to be moving on here in just a second. We got a story about Lollipop Chainsaw, the Repop remaster that was just released. We're going to get to that in just a second. But first, Dean says exclusives are stupid. If you can't sell the merit of a console without flopping down the exclusives, then you have no reason to complain if someone has a better experience for that game on another platform. Well, thank you, Dean. Appreciate that.
I don't agree with that, though. I don't think exclusives are stupid. Like, honestly, I think that when it comes down to it, you have to give people a reason to enter your ecosystem, right? I think one of the worst decisions Microsoft ever made was moving to the Game Pass. You know, at that point, it's like, okay, why should I buy an Xbox? Why should I, invest in this game? Like, I remember when Grand Theft Auto was like the big thing, and you had to have a PlayStation or to play Grand Theft Auto, and that drove people into the PlayStation ecosystem. Like, the PlayStation wouldn't be where it's at today without exclusives like Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that, because that's what created the brand loyalty for people to keep buying the next console. It's just like,
Final Fantasy too, by the way.
Yeah, and like all these exclusives, right? Because it's like once you commit to a system, an ecosystem through these exclusives, when the next console comes out, you're far more likely to invest in that than you are into something like possibly brand new, unless it's disruptive and it has better exclusives. I was in a situation, back in the day where I bought a Xbox and a PlayStation just so I could have like my choice of like what games to play, like, because there are always exclusives coming out. And I think a lot of gamers looked at that negatively because it's like, okay, I got to spend more money to play the games I want to play. But now it's like you pay like, the Game Pass, and you don't need to invest into Xbox anymore.
Right. Well, it's a great conversation about just the way the industry has gone over the last 20 years or so. I've said this many times. If Nintendo did a Game Pass model for their classic titles, I mean, they have such a back catalog, and I know that they have Nintendo Switch Online and they've had the Virtual Console and stuff. But I feel like if they offered a Netflix style, here's our entire first party catalog, you pay $10 a month, whatever, $15 a month for it, I think they would dominate. Now, not to say they already are. Now, that's just me being selfish. Will they ever do that? Probably not, because they know that they can resell those games over and over and over and over again, and people will still buy them over and over and over again.
Well, look at Disney, right? Like, remember when Disney used to take stuff away and put it in the vault? And so it was like, hey, if we don't buy this DVD now, like, it might not be available for another 10 years or something like that. Yep. Now everything's on Disney Plus. So it's like, what's the movies have kind of lost their value or their luster, and it's the same thing with video games. If you don't create some type of scarcity or exclusivity, the value proposition goes away in a weird sense, right?
Yeah, and creating that false scarcity was a big part of Disney's what has also helped create the Disney magic of the vault, right? There was no vault, there was no physical vault, but it was it was like blast processing. It was just all marketing. We're not going to sell you this movie because we want to honor its sanctity. Well, you better get it now because it's going back in the vault, so yeah, it's amazing. Chris came in and says, speaking of the Cobra Kai and the Pat Morita, Mr. Miyagi story. He says, I doubt they'll change his character. Ralph, close friends with Pat, talked about refusing to come back to sequels for years until Cobra Kai because the previous attempts weren't honoring Pat's legacy. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Also, with the 10, Coakley came in and says, I'm not going to anything owned or operated by Blabs. I might be severely depressed, but I ain't looking to move on from existence anytime soon. Thanks, Coakley.
I won't blow real people up.
You say that now.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
I really won't. I'm actually very nice. Sometimes.
The image is ruined now.
I'm glad you finished that with people up. or up at the end of that, because that's what you said. I was like, whoa.
She's blushing.
Get your head out of the gutter, bro.
No, I'm just saying. I thought that's what you said. I thought that's where you were going to go with. Anyways, hey,
No.
the Buff Love says this might be an uneducated opinion, but Japan, from my perspective, has a company presence of discipline and respect. But when Sony moved to Cali, which promotes DEI and evil things, got anti-consumer. Thanks to Buff Bluff. Appreciate that greatly with the massive $20 super chat. It's excellent. All right. And also, God damn it, I want a new name came in with the 10. So since we are correcting Craig, God damn it, I want a new name, not God damn it, I want a new name. No, it's just a name. It's God damn it, I want a name. Sorry, my fault. Also, anathema, not anti-thema, I really have no idea.
Do you need glasses?
I'm trying to read this direct donation. Says, don't be nerdrotic, learn how to read good. Listen, Gary and I are right on the same page when it comes to reading.
Both blind.
By the way, I will be going to see the eye doctor very soon. I have several doctor's visits. As you get older, you got to start making your way to the doctors. Get out your cane, get out your walker. Make your
Plus,
way
words
over.
are hard. Words are hard.
Words are hard, aren't they, Matt? It's ridiculous. All right. Speaking of hard, the review. Listen, journalists are journalism right now. As right now, if you were to look at we talked about Lollipop Chainsaw Repop yesterday. This game, Blabs, when you saw this game, what'd you think of it?
I like the bikini shell thing.
Yeah. There was shell bikinis and all sorts of craziness. You got literal chainsaws, girls in bikinis, and lots of blood, right? So they released Lollipop Chainsaw Repop, which is like a remaster. They actually removed some of the gore in a totally separate mode. So you got the original version, and then you got like a less gory version, which, hey, it's a nice little option to have if you don't like all the gore and stuff. But there was talks yesterday about reviewers not reviewing the game or not wanting to review the game. And that was pretty fascinating to see. So much so that Learning the Law over on X has this right here. It says Lollipop Chainsaw Repop has received only 3 reviews globally on Metacritic, while IGN already discredited the game, claiming it's not worth it. Now, to be clear, we haven't seen them say this exact thing, right? So we just want to be fully clear there and transparent. It says, meanwhile, Dustborn has 21 reviews on PC. IGN gave Dustborn a 7. Eurogamer thinks it's amazing. There's something fishy. So the idea of Dustborn having 21 reviews and a game like Lollipop Chainsaw, which I would say they're pretty much the polar opposites of each other. Is there some sort of conspiracy, gentlemen, to not review the scantily clad women game?
Well, the question I would have is like, is it a different game or is it just a game with updated graphics?
See,
Because
I have an answer for that already.
All right, go ahead.
It doesn't matter because those same websites have reviewed remasters and remakes and whatnot, that and some of them were the same games just with better graphics and whatnot, and they still put out a review anyway.
I agree with that statement. I think it truly doesn't matter if the game is being released, and there are additional gameplay elements to this, and there are quality of life improvements in the game,
right,
which they have done. They have reviewed other remasters before, so the idea of them not reviewing this remaster for whatever reason is just kind of like, all right. Now there are other layers to this. Have they been sent? Were they sent a review code? Right? If review codes weren't sent out to play the game before it came out, and maybe their reviews just aren't done. Who knows? Or are they just strictly saying, no, I'm not going to review this game? No, it's not worth it. And if it's not worth it, aren't you doing a disservice to your audience by saying, no, we're not going to check this out? Which then I think that is truly nefarious and really fucked up, and speaks to every outlet that's choosing not to review it that normally would review a remaster.
Keep in mind, Matt, too, even if it's the same game, right? Gameplay wise and all that stuff. Since it's a remaster, there's different graphical elements to it. There's different parts to a game review, right? So you don't just talk about the gameplay, you talk about how it runs, obviously. Talk about the performance, talk about just overall, maybe ease of access, how it runs on lower hardware versus high. There's things you could do to make a new review interesting for a game like this. To totally avoid it, just I think makes it pretty obvious, in my opinion.
You got anything on that, Matt?
I think those are all good points. Do you guys remember DOA, the fighting game DOA?
Of course.
Yeah.
So that was, I think, one of the big games on Xbox when it first came out. Could be mistaken on that. But I remember, like, it was not a very good fighting game, but they had boob physics. They had scantily clad women on screen fighting each other and stuff like that. And so the audience for video games is like overwhelmingly male. And so dudes are like, oh, I'm going to have this big boob chick.
Hey, hold on.
Hold
on, Matt. Hold on. The ESRB tells me that it's 50% male and 50% female. Don't tell me those lies, Matt.
Well, my lying eyes tell me otherwise.
Right.
But this idea here that I think that a bigger issue in general with Hollywood, with the video game industry more and more, is that they don't understand who their core audience is. Yes, there's a subsection of female gamers, but most women who are gamers like different types of video games than the majority male gamers do, right? So this idea that the review sites don't understand who their audience is makes perfect sense to me. And they're like, oh, we're all about equality and the male gaze, like we don't want that and all this other stuff. So to Hypnotic's point, I agree. Like they probably don't want to, cater to wrong think, I guess you could say. But at the same time, it's like, well, your audience is interested in this type of stuff. So why do you deny them that? And it really is social engineering in a weird way, but we see it fail time and time again. So I'm just wondering, do these people hate money or hate views or hate, success?
I think so. I disagree on they don't know their core audience. They absolutely do. They know who their audience is. They're just purposely choosing to ignore it for whatever that reason may be. Even Kathleen Kennedy has openly admitted that Star Wars is still predominantly male. And this is after almost a decade of her wearing a, the Force is female t-shirt, and they keep trying to push things to women and whatnot. They know who their audience is. These people are not stupid. They may be psychos, but they're not dumb. They have, analytical departments that look at who their audience is and who actually buys. They know exactly. And also you got to keep in mind too, maybe, again, this could be a conspiracy, but maybe these journalists have decided to stop reviewing games that gamers actually want because perhaps they realize that by negatively talking about these games, it actually makes them supersede and sell way more than they ever probably would have in the beginning. It's the reverse effect every single time. At least that's what I'm starting to notice. They're going to start probably going really quiet or trying to downplay certain games because they don't want to have that kind of Streisand effect that they realize has been happening every single time they talk bad about something.
But also, aren't gamers more fickle? So that, if like a site like IGN does that, right? What incentive is there for gamers to actually go to IGN for like news or reviews or something like that? They're going to find some dude on the internet who's like, "Hey, I'm sick of this shit. I'm going to give you guys the real, the real skinny," and then like all of a sudden the audience moves over to there. So it'd be interesting to kind of see like how a site like IGN, who's famously sold out long time ago, responds to something like that, because the only reason IGN is relevant is because of the normies, the people who've been going to them since they started, people who Google and like IGN pops up first, but if they move away from like, real honest journalism and, giving people like actual critiques instead of just giving every terrible thing that comes out of 7 out of 10, eventually they're going to, basically like do what Lucasfilm has done to itself, which is like tank its credibility, tank its fan base, and go on the decline. So I just don't see that as a good business decision.
Can I show you a good business decision?
Yeah.
Dead or Alive, bouncy boob physics gameplay. Blabs, you've never seen this before, but I want you to focus in on what you're about to see here.
Boobs are always a good business decision. Always.
Yeah, always.
Blabs, watch this, and you know what you're looking at. Here we go.
Oh wow.
That's it. That's awesome.
It's like They move in slow motion in comparison to the rest of it.
Is that how they work in real life, Blabs?
No.
No.
Sometimes they come up and go bam.
Oh,
Oh,
that would
okay.
be funny to watch.
Yeah,
Well,
if you're running, if you have big tits and like you're going down the stairs without a bra, no.
Sounds extreme.
Yeah, it sounds tough. Well, we'll pray for you, Blabs.
Okay.
All right. So back to Lollipop Chainsaw. Currently, it has its all-time peak has 989 players right now.
That's sad.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's a niche game.
Yeah,
I
super
know,
niche.
but like it's a shame. Boob physics.
Well, Lollipop Chainsaw does have some boob physics in it, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's sad. People aren't aware of this. But I do want to point out that I've been wanting to say this for the last couple of days. I
Yes.
think the rebranding of the name, like Chainsaw Lollipop Repop, like it's like a remaster, fantastic marketing. Can we just say that Lollipop Repop? Perfect. Just saying.
Sure, you can say that. I think it'd probably be better if they just called it remastered.
No, Repop is so cool.
Why? What am I
Because
missing?
Lollipop, like Repop, that's awesome. I think it's genius.
We found the modern audience, ladies
There
and
she
gentlemen.
is, everybody. She's right there. No.
What? Because I like the new name.
No, I'm just kidding, Blabs.
It's a niche game, though. You know, it has a cult classic following, which is fine. But you also got to think of it from this standpoint, right? So a super niche game, and it's a remaster from an old game.
Yes,
still has a bigger audience than Concord, which is just like mind blowing.
But also think about the unique value proposition of that game, right? Where it's like, hey, we're gonna have a hot cheerleader with a chainsaw killing shit.
yes.
And it's like to every. I remember when it originally came out, like every dude was like, "Oh yeah, I want to play that."
Mhm.
Nowadays it's like, oh, like let's put an overweight POC female as the main character in your game, and people are just like, what? Why?
If this was modernized, she'd be black and fat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the game itself, it sold over 1 million copies in March of 2014, the original version of Lollipop Chainsaw. So, I mean, you sell 1 million copies of anything, you're doing pretty dang good, and then as of June of this year, of June of 2024, it sold 1.24 million copies of it. So I mean, it's sold quite a bit, and I don't know if it'll sell quite as well here with the Repop version, Blabs. But the idea that it's out there, and it is very interesting to see compared to Concord how well it's done. I mean, once again, they direct back and forth. The Concord, of course, multi-million-dollar failure. Is Repop going to be that? Probably not. I'll tell you what is also interesting is how people are still playing Dustborn. There's 12 people on it right now.
Streamers.
Yeah, for sure. I'm fascinated by this though with Concord. There's 3 people on Steam playing this right now, or at least have it loaded up. So I looked at this earlier.
Those are just the devs.
Okay, but you literally can't play. You can't even play a game with that way. Even if you had a private server set up, you need 10 people to play a game in a 5v5 shooter. So I looked at this earlier because I think it's fun to look at every day. There was only 2 players playing it, and now there's 3, which means somebody is actively trying to join a game of Concord right now after it's been released, which is great.
Now, Craig, you're thinking too far inside the box, though. Like that's a secret meeting that's doing a drug deal in a private, was it the stage before you go out and do the fighting? So like in the waiting area, basically, like you have 3 guys who are organizing a drug deal in a place where they know nobody will be watching them. And then they meet in IRL and do the transaction.
Maybe that's where the terrorists in gaming are at right now.
That's right.
They're not communicating. Yeah,
exactly.
Oh man,
probably.
It's a digital Dropbox essentially. So
I'll tell you this. We talk about Mistress Blabs. There's a nefarious side to you as well, Matt. Like I feel
I'm a full blown supervillain. So I own that. Yeah.
All right, good to know. Excellent. Well, at least we've established that early on, which is good. All right, let's move on to another quick hit here before we get to our lead story here. Tony Hawk, it looks like they're going to be doing something ahead of the 25th anniversary of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series. He's talking with Activision again. Any thoughts on this, guys?
Not really. Like I never really liked the skateboarding games to begin with. Like it was just never something I played, and I was never a skateboarder because I was overweight, had flat feet, and no balance. So it was just like one of those things that I didn't care about skateboarding. And so like I know Tony Hawk is still like, you know, considered to be like the face of the skateboarding, you know, subculture, I guess. Even though he's got to be pushing like what, 50, 60, something like that. I don't know. But I don't care. I don't care about skateboarding games. And so like if he wants to come back and resurrect his IP, and I believe like his last couple Tony Hawk games are like super bad. I don't remember exactly, but I do seem to remember that there were some honest reviews of like the last one where it was just like terrible physics, like terrible tricks and stuff like that. So with this thing, I feel like it's kind of a nothing burger, right? It's just like, who cares? Like, who plays skateboarding games anymore?
Skateboarding is not what it was 20 years ago. But I also think, you know, Tony Hawk Pro Skater is the NBA Jam of skateboarding games, right? And that you don't need to like skateboarding to enjoy Tony Hawk Pro Skater. You don't need to like basketball to enjoy NBA Jam, right? It's this arcadey style game, you know, and that's what makes it fun. Now, is there a market for a 25th anniversary Tony Hawk Pro Skater? Probably. I think there is. I think there's a nostalgia bug which will hit people and they'll want to go out and buy some sort of 25th anniversary collection of it. But, you know, it's just more money for Tony Hawk, I suppose. Hypnotic, you got anything on that?
I mean, I played them as a kid a lot. I was super into the Tony Hawk games, and SSX Tricky was one of my favorite games by far.
Yeah.
But you know, I think we're past that. I don't think the market's as huge for it now as it used to be. You know, especially such a digital age. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like completely removed from it. But yeah, no, I was totally into that. But it just seems like more, like you said, more money opportunity for Tony Hawk. Not that he probably needs it. Guy's probably a multi-millionaire, I would assume by now. Yeah, I'm not gonna rush out and go buy this game if ever, to be honest with you. So
let's play the Price is Right game. Tony Hawk's net worth, Blabs. Tony Hawk's net worth. How much do you think Tony Hawk is worth according to Bing.com?
$50 million.
$50 million. Matt.
I'm gonna go 25 mil.
25 million. Chat, you guys are up next. What do you got? Put it in the chat. Hypnotic.
It's hard because he couldn't have been a millionaire much from his business, but he's also white, so that means he got investments. So I don't know.
Well, Activision literally gave him a check for $1 million once. Remember, it was just like, that's yours.
Let's go with 35 million. Let's go with 35. 35 million.
Okay, 35 million. We had a 25 million and a 50 million. If I was to add up,
watch it be like billion.
If I was to add up all of them, $1 billion is too high. But if I was to add up all your guesses together, they would still not match his estimated net worth.
200 million?
140 million.
Good for you, Tony.
Damn, white privilege, man.
Ridiculous. Golly.
Oh, good.
Crazy.
Wow.
Oh, man, I want some of that white privilege. Where can I get some
most of that?
Yeah,
I
I
would
want a
guarantee most of that is probably not from his skateboarding. Gotta imagine it's investment.
It's licensing. It's all licensing.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Well, I know the Pro Skater games definitely paid him a pretty penny for that. It's like Madden, man. You know, people are going to know Tony Hawk from the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, like they know John Madden as the Madden football games. It's just the brand at this point. So
now he got paid again, right? For the remakes that came out recently, he got paid again, right?
Yeah, of course. Anytime his name is associated with it, yeah.
But did he just like get a new contract, or is it the same one from the original games?
Well, apparently there was a fallout, and he's coming back in, and then I guess they said, "Hey, do you want to make a shit ton of money?" And he's like, "All right." And
yeah.
And sure.
Money makes everything mend in business usually.
Amazing how that works out. All right. Let's go and keep moving on. Guys, thank you again. We see all your super chats, all your direct donations, all your Rumble rants. We'll get to every single one, including Bill Skinner. I think I said that right. Says exclusives are stupid. No customer wants these game companies competing on their, quote, ecosystems. We want them competing on the merit of their hardware. Sell the software on everything and may the best console win. PC Master Race, by the way. Of course you are. Of course you are.
I'm a PC Master Racer too. I don't like consoles personally.
Yeah, I'm kind of towards PC at this point too.
I've always been a PC gamer.
Well, you have a lot to be happy about now. The price of your gaming platform of choice has gone down dramatically. And Reeve guys says, to be fair, Lollipop Chainsaw Repop flows off the tongue better than Lollipop Chainsaw Remaster. But it doesn't exactly.
Repop, it sounds great. Like Lollipop, Repop.
Words are still hard.
Lollipop,
They are.
lolly.
She's really sold on the title.
She is.
I am. I thought it was genius yesterday. I'm like, it's a fantastic title.
But
But-
did you buy the game?
No, because I have no interest in actually playing it.
Modern audience, ladies and gentlemen.
Blabs, change your title to Blabs Reblabbed. So
I think, Blabs, you want to make some money. You play that game.
I shouldn't I? I have so many
Yes.
games to play. Like I went down the rabbit hole with Mark the Cyborg. Damn it, Mark! And now I have all these PS1 games I want to play.
Yep. Just saying. You want to make some money, you play that game. Hey, Delta came in with a 5, says, Hypnotic is right. I remember when Rock Paper Shotgun's owner told viewers to leave when LGBTQ articles were becoming constant during 2015, 2016. They wanted to social engineer a toxic positive community. Everyone with moral paranoia eventually leaves. Thanks, Delta.
Dude, I'm so glad people are talking about toxic positivity more now. I'm so happy. It's something I've been talking about for a long time. Not just in the gaming industry, just in general. But yeah.
Well, you want to talk about review bombing. The actual review bombings are the 5-star reviews, the overly positive reviews. Those are the things that nobody ever pays attention to, where it's like, oh, we're just going to give this product or service or whatever 5 stars. We're going to have all these bots like dump 5-star reviews. It's never the 1-star reviews or the 2-star reviews that are actually like legit and criticizing. It's always like, it's just like with the Acolyte stuff, right? It's like all these reviewers who are praising it. It's like, oh, they're all paid off by Disney. They're all paid off by Lucasfilm. Like they don't actually mean that this is the greatest Star Wars show ever made. It's just it's that toxic positivity that you talk about, Hypnotic. It only seems like they tried to frame it that it only goes in like one direction, where it's like, oh, the criticizers, the negative Nellies, those are the people who are toxic, when actually criticism is very healthy. Without criticism, you never improve, right? But it's this blanket brand loyalty praise that all these shills just dump on these like massive IPs. That's the real toxicity, because like you're not improving the IP, you're not helping the IP to find its audience. You're just praising these idiots who are in charge of the IP for their bad work.
Yep. And it just ruins it, you know. And by definition, that's an actual real grifter, right? Because they're lying and they're conning people. They're conning the studio. They're conning their audience, and they're doing so to their own benefit. So they don't actually care if the IP gets destroyed in the process. They only care about getting that access or trying to get that access, or if they have the access, maintaining it, right? They'll stay trying to maintain their gaming industry access, even if everything burns around them. It doesn't matter. Like, oh, that game died, well, too bad, I'm just gonna go chill for another one. They're not actually trying to improve anything. Anyway,
listen, I can speak on this in depth, right? You guys got to remember, I've been on both sides of this. I've been on the toxic positivity side, the access media side, and now I've been shunned, right? And I have shunned myself to this side, because that side is so fucking fake. It's so fucking narcissistic, and it's so fucking gross. And I have people that I've worked with in the past that are the epicenter of the, hey, it's me, it's a toxic, everything is great, hey, here we are. And it's like watching a fucking clown dance over and over again. And it's I would much rather support somebody who is authentic and real and tell you if something isn't good, instead of trying to, hey, dance, let me dance for you every day. No, I ain't doing that anymore. It's something I just don't fly with. So you got, there's this toxic positivity thing. It needs to be addressed. But here's the thing, is that nobody in the industry is going to shut it down, because they want everything to be great and rosy, and they want to put their head in the sand, and they want to go, no, everything's good, no, everything's good. See, because he says it is, it's really good, you know. And it once again further goes into their bubble, you know. It's insanity.
That's all it's about, man. So.
Yeah, and when it comes to reviewers, like, integrity is everything, right? Like if you're gonna give an honest review of a product, good or bad, it all depends. Like the ability of the audience to believe you comes down to your integrity. So if you're always positive, that's just as bad as being always negative. What people really want is just honesty. And if you're honest, eventually you're going to piss people off, on both sides. So I always look for the people who don't have a sponsor or don't have skin in the game, and they're just giving their honest opinion. And if I agree with them more often than not, then their take on things is usually like what I agree with. Like, for instance, Craig, you have Razor Fist on this show. Right?
I do.
Razor Fist is one of the most intelligent human beings on the planet, in my opinion. And whenever he, calls something out or brings something to light or plays a video game and has commentary on it.
I can't listen to that strain.
Go ahead, Matt. Keep going.
Well, I'm just saying, like Razor Fist has a huge amount of integrity because he's always consistent with what he argues, what he believes. And so I'm far more inclined to take his opinion on a piece of entertainment or whatever than I am with someone like, say, Dark Side Phil, for instance, right?
Keep bringing up DSP. It's great.
DSP.
How can you not? How can you not? Well, we'll certainly pass on the wonderful things you said to Razor about him. I'll let him know that he's one of the smartest men in the universe.
It's pretty strong.
On the planet. I said on the planet.
Let's just go the next step.
When's the wedding, bro?
Yeah. No joke. We gotta.
Are you saying Razor Fist is not smart?
Oh, I never said that. To say Razor Fist is one of the smartest people in the world. It's like, how many countries have you been to?
That's like saying I'm one of the most handsome people in the world. Like, what
yeah,
are we
like
doing?
come on, you can't.
What are we doing?
Like,
come on.
I'm not doubting Razor's intelligence. I have nothing against Razor. We get along like two peas in the pod.
Can you name when has Razor Fist been wrong?
Hey, let's just all agree with Super Joe here. Where's he at? Hold on. Where'd he go?
What
Super
is
Joe
that?
says Razor is definitely smarter than DSP. That's right. We can all agree on that. Hey, you know what else is smart? Look at this. Ian coming in with 10 gifted memberships. Let's go, Ian. Thank you so much. Let's go. 10 gifties. That is spectacular. If you guys got a gifted membership, make sure you say thank you. Also spectacular, and I feel horrible for just now getting to this. Blabs.
Fingers ready.
We got a double doozer today, as Valkyria Winter has come in with the $100 Rumble.
Yay!
Let's go. There's some jiggle physics.
Now that's
for you.
physics. Yep.
That's right. It says, hail the bigot army and hail for the jiggling boobies. Always enjoy Hypnotic streams and the battles there. Always. And as always, Skull and Uwu. Also, Valkyria came in with the $50 Rumble rant. Look at that. Jiggle physics indeed. Says Borderlands 3 was a woke piece of crap that we all wish would burn and piss on. I'm sorry, Blabs, but yes, you're fired.
Oh, no. Anyway, I'll see you Monday.
Till tomorrow. Oh, yeah, Monday.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, Valkyria, thank you so much. You got a double. Look at that. That's a double dip right there. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Great stuff. Really appreciate that. Thanks for helping fund the show today.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me go ahead and pop them on. Blabs, go to read these off real quick because I got a story just for Blabs coming up in about 30 seconds.
Real life fake wizard for $4.99 says, I agree with Matt on Razor. Thank you for the super. Miner says, I bought that Repop and I still have my PlayStation 3 copy. Awesome. Enjoy both. Both. Levy says, Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, had 5 stars on Xbox for months, and then suddenly all the 1 stars started appearing.
Oh.
When did they have the 5 stars? Was it even before launch?
I don't know.
Honey Badger, what'd you think of Prairie in the Aura fight? I thought it was pretty epic and surprised to see something like that in modern day. Dude, fantastic. When Aura's like, kill yourself. It's like, yeah.
All right.
Prairie 10 on 10. Do watch.
All right. One last quick hit here before we move on to our lead here. And we're running up against it. So, but I know you guys are all Harry Potter freaks. Do you guys know who Matt Rife is? The comedian?
Yep.
Well, he put
Very
this
funny
out.
guy.
Yeah, he's great with it. His whole thing is crowd work.
Crowd work.
Have you seen Matt Rife before?
Hypnotic is using the restroom right now.
Well, let's find out. Let's just wait. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so here it is. Comedian Matt Rife Blabs wants to play Voldemort.
What the fuck?
In the new Harry Potter series.
Is he English?
It's so awkward having my headset on and hearing you guys like. I walk around the house and I'm like, these motherfuckers didn't read private chat.
Well,
what are you asking now?
Your thoughts on Matt Rife wanting to be Voldemort?
Is he British?
No, he's not British.
Does it
Fuck
matter?
that casting then. Get rid of
Wanting
him.
him to be Voldemort. I don't. Let me see his face again.
Not Voldemort.
Um,
no, definitely
no,
not.
I'm not feeling it. I don't know why.
So
Oh,
here-
Edward
here's-
Scissorhands
He's
too
got
young.
the eyes. He's got like the slit eyes, which I mean, can play an evil guy. But aside from that, I'm not feeling it.
No.
Here's-
What's with the
here's a-
Joker smile?
Here's the thing about Matt Rife, though. Like, he doesn't have any acting credits to his name, but he could be like the next Jim Carrey. I think he has that potential there.
Yeah, but Voldemort's not a funny humor
I-
type of villain. He's like, I'm gonna kill everyone you love just because I can.
He could probably play Riddle.
Oh, like a charming young Riddle.
He could probably play like young.
Maybe.
Yeah,
But here's
Riddle,
the thing,
maybe.
he's not British, so out.
Oh, he's not. Can he fake it?
No, but even like the thing was J.K. Rowling always hired like British people on purpose to be super authentic.
Well, the thing is, they've used all the British actors in the movies. So I don't think they have a
but
lot
they're
to choose
also
from.
like a whole bunch of youngsters now too. So
They've used all of them. All the
All
and
of
then
them.
use
actors.
Colin
all-
Firth. Colin Firth is still available.
Every actor in Britain was used.
No, there's
Good.
actually like 5 or 6 of them that were like, yeah, I wasn't in Harry Potter, everybody else was, and that's one of them was Colin Firth.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we've established whether Matt Rife can play Voldemort.
Nope.
in the next-
Very important.
Nope.
Yes, these are important details that we
Don't get
cover
us
here on
started,
Tech
man.
Coach. I know it's crazy.
I mean,
All right.
it's HBO. Anything can happen, Craig.
Hey, you never know. What if just throwing this? No, I'm not even not
Don't
even.
even start with
I'm not even gonna lob this grenade your way because I know Blabs is gonna jump on it and be like, no, I'm not even
He's
gonna
gonna
do it.
swing it back right at you.
No,
Ki-
she'll
ki-
just take it and throw it at a group of people. Apparently,
Yeah,
That's-
right.
Could Matt Rife? Could Matt Rife play Mr. Miyagi?
I don't want anybody to play Mr. Miyagi. Can we not go there? I agree with that decision. Good job, Greg.
I can't
Yeah.
deal with this guy. It's
Did you
I
guys
love him.
know?
I love him, but I just
We're
can't
talking
do it.
about grenades. So in Star Wars Battlefront 2, there's a grenade called the oppression grenade. So you can just chuck it at your nearest minority.
Wait, what?
Yes.
There's a actual oppression grenade.
Yeah, in Star Wars Battlefront 2, if you play as the First Order, as in like the freaking stupid Sith trooper, whatever, red helmet, they have like the oppression grenade. It's a great grenade. It does a lot
So
of
that's what
damage.
Antifa uses. That makes sense.
But yeah, you can literally be like, let me do this at the nearest minority. Ugh. And like, lo and behold.
So they just run around town and they look for the nearest black guy with a Trump hat. They're like, really quick, here, take this. And next thing you know, he replaces it with a Kamala Harris hat. Yeah, that makes sense.
And like lo and behold, the resistance is all a bunch of like aliens and things.
Did you guys see
They-
Joe
they-
Biden putting on that MAGA hat?
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
he probably thought it was something else.
yeah, I guarantee he did. All right, let's go and move on to our next story. But before we do, Snapple Rai came
Wow.
in with the $100 super chat. Let's go. Says this Friday. Hold on. Let me get
You're
that
hiding
out of
the
way.
boot. There you
Yeah,
go.
what are we doing? What are we doing here? Start that over, Blabs. Start it over.
Okay.
Snapple
There
Rai
we go.
says,
Much better.
it's Friday. Just wanted to show some support. Keep up the great work and hoping to see more guests in the future. Yes, we have guests every day. Snapple Rai. Thank you so much for that massive support. So there's some massive jiggle flicks. Why aren't you? There you go. There you go. Now you flip it up there. Let's get them on the wall right there. That is excellent and genuinely greatly appreciated. Spectacular, friends. Wow. Man, that's great stuff. Well, let's go read this off really quick before we move on to our final story.
Scarfy the Strange Virtue says, never bet against the Razor. I like how it says the Razor.
The Mr. Fist, yeah.
The Razor.
It's just like Wesley Snipes in Passenger 57. You know, you always bet on black, always bet on Razor.
What a great line right there. Always been on
Mhm.
black.
I kind of want to do the PewDiePie Samp.
I'll tell you what. No, it's okay. I love it. I love everything about it. We'll make sure we let them know, but also at the same time, I want to do this one for Matt.
Gay!
Hey, if loving Razor Fist is gay, I don't want to be straight.
Okay. There we are.
Right on, flopping dick and balls.
There you go. It's a special message
literally
to
what it
you.
is.
All right. Excellent. Okay.
Titties.
Oh, that's a course correction right there from Razor. Thank you, Razor.
You burrito chomper.
Razor just showing up in the middle of the show today. This is good. All right, so we have a we got a new trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows, which dropped yesterday. We didn't get a chance to look at it. And you know what? That's okay. Here's a quick trailer for it. Here's 37 seconds of fun for the brand new Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Why no hip hop this time?
That's a great question.
They heard you.
Yes, they heard everybody. It was ridiculous. Well, this game, I've said this many, many times. I think I'm not alone in this sentiment. I think this is going to be, this will underperform as Star Wars Outlaws did as well. What they say, Star Wars Outlaws underperformed, 55%? Is that what they said? It was 50. It did a very.
Is that all?
I think that's what they where it was at right there.
I think that's a little high, personally, but
I don't think we have seen sales figures yet for Outlaws. I don't think we have up to this point. Yeah, good luck with that. Right. Well, the game has obviously had a lot of controversy built around it, and rightfully so. They've done a really good job of just pretty much shitting on every culture, gamers along the way. But their art director has come out and responded to the criticism that they've seen along the way. And hey, let's just see what he had to say here.
I have a quick question, if anybody can answer. The main trailer, does it have gameplay? The new trailer gameplay?
That was a 37-second one. Is there another?
Well, that was I think that was
based off an actual trailer.
I believe so, but there was no gameplay in what we just saw. But Blab, see if you can find that really quick. See if you can find.
Shocker.
Yes. But the art director has come out and responded to the criticism. Let's go to Bounding into Comics for this story right here. Says they said in regarding to the depiction of Japan, they said we paid a lot of attention to stay as respectful as possible to Japanese culture, but creative choices are made on our side. There's a little bit more to this story, which I'll get to here at the bottom. But the idea, I don't think anybody is upset about creative decisions being made. Look, we all understand at the end of the day, this is a video game, right? This is a video game. But there has been a lot of interesting choices made, so much so that they had to respond to the criticism over on X. And because it wasn't just like Gringo Whitey's upset about this. It wasn't Matt Kadish over here just yelling about Assassin's Creed. It was it was Japan.
Gringo
Japan.
Whitey, Matt Kadish, yes.
Well, actually, did you hear the cope though?
Fire away.
So the cope is that it actually is just Whitey's, but they're using Google Translate to speak in Japanese to pretend to be Japanese people. At least that's the narrative from certain people who are trying to shill for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Shout out to Mighty Cuck.
There you go. It's always if we just put on our conspiracy theory caps over here, our tinfoil, and that's crazy to think. Well, the art designer, director man came in and was talking about this. It's been about a month or so since they've talked about this, and he offered a more personal on the ground take of the situation. Pressed for his thoughts on the criticism of the game's creative liberties by Eurogamer editor-in-chief Tom Phillips during a recent 2024 Gamescom trade show, he bluntly affirmed, "Of course we're making creative choices. It's a video game in the end, so we want to make the best experience as possible for our players. We've worked with a lot of experts to just understand the time period. We did a lot of our own work, so we're making sure we depict the world in a respectful way while fulfilling the gameplay needs and making it entertaining." This is probably my favorite thing over here. It says, "We worked with Osaka and Tokyo Studios, who've acted as consultants. One of their art directors is involved in doing research in the field. We went there. We did a field trip as well. We have Japanese experts living in Japan." I find it interesting that they did a field trip to feudal Japan. I think that's really pretty amazing to see. But
wow, right?
Yeah, it's wild how they just time traveled back there. We used them to take a lot of our assets. the play of the game and provide feedback. So I said we pay a lot of attention to stay as respectful as possible to Japanese culture, but creative choices are made on our side based on all the discussions we had with our own groups of experts. We're confident with how the game will be received. I heard this statement as well about how excited they are. This game is the most anticipated Star Wars game ever. We heard that with Outlaws, and they were also confident with how the game would be received. Does this statement here about how authentic the game is and the number of people that they've worked with to create an authentic feudal Japan experience with their black ninja? By the way, people say it's African American. No, he's not African American. He's not. To be African American, you have to live in America, and from whatever. I'm sorry that went over here. As a black samurai ninja in feudal Japan. So does his statements provide any insight or give you guys any, I don't know, a better feeling about where the game is headed? Let's start with you, Hypnotic.
So it's BS, right? It's very obviously BS. Any little bit of information, once you start dissecting the game, this is the problem. You want to come from a point of historical accuracy when it fits you, right? But then when people actually hit you back with your lack of historical accuracy, suddenly it's a video game and you have to make creative choices and you need to be understanding. Like, you can't do both of those, right? And this is the problem. And a lot of people are like, well, it's a video game. It's not supposed to be real. Well, then why did you market your game in the beginning, and you're still doing it now to an extent, about being the first ever historically accurate, Assassin's Creed Shadows character or whatever? My point is, if you're going to claim, this is their new favorite word, right? Authenticity, authentic. That's the buzzword for these certain people who want to throw this around as, oh, we're just doing this out of authenticity and nothing else. We promise. Wink, wink. It's all bullshit. They like to throw that word around because they think it gives them like legitimacy and power over what they're saying. And all you got to do is just look at it. And it's not just us too. Japanese players, everybody's just picking it apart. Okay, if you're authentic, why is there Chinese architecture? If you're authentic, why did you put Chinese subtitles in your Japanese trailer? If it's authentic, why are you leading all of feudal Japan and you're saying the samurai spirit is going to be represented through a black guy with an extremely vague history that almost everybody agrees that was never a samurai to begin with, and the only history that you have based off of him is based off the lies of a white guy who profited off of it. So like, why are we doing all this, right? And then they want to say, oh, we're authentic, but here's our showcase where we bought these items off of Amazon that are totally Japanese. We promise, but they were made in China. It's like, it's such BS, man. Authenticity, when they say authenticity, that's just their way of saying, okay, we have a video game. We need to do certain things with it, whether it's our choice, whether it's ESG mandates, whether it's consultancy firms telling us what to do. It doesn't matter who it is. At the end of the day, we have certain things we have to do, and we're gonna do it, and we're gonna try to lie about it and claim we're doing it for authenticity reasons when it's not. And just to reference, because people in the chat really quick, they were like, where did I see that? So Mighty Keith was on Twitter, quote tweeting somebody else, I forgot who, basically trying to say, well, all the backlash from Japanese players was not real, right? None of it's real. It's all white guys pretending to be Japanese and they're using Google Translate. That's the level of cope that people are willing to go to not admit that you are insulting a certain group of people, and you don't want to admit it because if you do, then you essentially have to admit that you messed up, and they're not going to do that. And that's why they all hated when Ubisoft put out that apology statement to the Japanese people. So ultimately, it's all dumb, man. This whole thing is it exists for one reason and one reason only, and we know exactly why that is. And it's a shame that they were able to give us fake characters with real representation in previous Assassin's Creed Shadows, and now that they got to the one time where they used a real person, all of a sudden they derped and gave us false, representation.
That is the gymnastics that, number one, I don't think anybody hates this stuff. Maybe I'm just totally wrong, right? The idea that someone is like, we're going to start a campaign and use Google Translate to respond to the, like, wow. Like that is
because that's what they do, Craig. Like that's what they do. They are projecting. They do this all the time. They are the prime example of faking outrage and trying to get their way with fake outrage. Look at what's happening with Star Wars Theory and Geeks and Gamers and everything. They do this all the time. So they project, and now when they're facing real outrage, they're like, well, there's no way that can be real. There's no way Japanese people can be that upset. Some white guy told me Japanese people are happy. You know, it's just like that's what they think. And they push it out on everybody else. And it's not true. You know, and even you can have all the YouTubers out there. There's Japanese YouTubers out there tearing this apart. There's Japanese diss tracks out there. It's just ridiculous. But you know, it's kind of like what you said early in the stream. They close their ears and they pretend like none of it's happening, because at the end of the day, the industry has to maintain itself, and they have a certain echo chamber that needs to be protected. So
just throwing this out there, and Matt, I'm going to get your thoughts on this in just a second. But if I was to just ask you guys your thoughts on the color, not that it matters, of the art director of Assassin's Creed Shadows, what would you probably think he is? Just throwing it out there.
Art director?
Yeah, the guy who's talking about this.
Probably black.
The guy who's talking about this right now, he is a white dude. There he is.
That's less shocking.
Yes, right there. There he is right there. He's part of the Assassin's Creed fandom right here. So, you know, the white guy's telling everybody, hey, it'll be all right. Matthew, your thoughts on all this insanity?
So, you know, the Sengoku period of Japan, which was a period dominated by civil war, all these warring factions, it's one of the most interesting historical periods ever on the face of the earth. Like, talk about Game of Thrones. Like, this was like real life Game of Thrones shit. It is one of my favorite kind of like historical nerd out periods where, like, I'll watch documentaries, I'll read books about it. It is fascinating. And there was a real life black samurai during that period. His name was Yasuke. I probably mispronounced that, but I'm the destroyer of words. But words there was also hard. Yeah, words are hard. But there was also a white samurai in this time period too, and that was the basis of Shogun, essentially. William Adams was this white person who infiltrated Japanese society and rose up through the ranks and all this other stuff. So to say that, you know, they made a creative decision to take somewhat historical figures and kind of fictionalize them a bit and put them at the forefront of their game, okay, you could kind of justify that. But to say that they were being respectful of Japanese culture when there are so many historical samurai from the Japanese period that they could have based their character on, right? Like, one off the top of my head, Miyamoto Musashi, like one of the greatest samurais to ever live, author of Book of the Five Rings, right? Like, he's been used as a template for, you know, samurai for God knows how long, because he was like literally the greatest samurai to ever live. And I look at Assassin's Creed, and I've never liked Assassin's Creed personally. Like, I played the first two Assassin's Creed games, and I was just like, it's not for me. So I always thought that the Assassin's Creed franchise, and in fact, I'm still kind of surprised that it's still going, has never been kind of like worthwhile as a gamer, in my opinion. But then you look at a game like The Ghost of Tsushima, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
No, you
either. But you know, you look at a game like that. That is an actually respectful game to Japanese history, and also like Japanese filmmakers, like you know, can't believe I'm blanking on his name right now. Akira Kurosawa, right? Arguably one of the greatest filmmakers to ever live. And this game, Ghost of Tsushima, was able to not only respect Japanese culture and Japanese history, but also Japanese aesthetic, right? Because, you know, they kind of mimicked some of Akira Kurosawa's like filmmaking techniques in the actual game itself. And you compare and contrast that to this upcoming Assassin's Creed game, and it's not even a contest, right? It's very obvious that, first of all, to Hypnotic's point with all the Chinese stuff, China is like one of the biggest video game markets on the planet. So of course they're going to be catering to them at the expense of Japan. But in addition, like, it's all this, it's kind of funny because I have this, I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on for a second here.
We love tinfoil hats. Fire away.
Well, you know, and also like to not praise Razor Fist again. So you get your gay memes ready. But you know, Razor Fist had this amazing kind of like theory And I believe like you guys talked about it on a previous episode where Tencent, right? This Japanese, basically a front for the Communist Party of China, is a big like part owner in like, Activision or Ubisoft or whatever it is. Like they have their hands in a lot of these big video game companies. And China is the one funding and exporting all this DEI stuff. And I think Razer's conspiracy theory, or because it's from Razer, it's probably not a conspiracy, it's probably an actual like thing, is that they're purposely putting this DEI stuff in place to tank the value of these companies, of these big successful companies, so that China, the Chinese government, can come in and buy them up cheap and then build them back up to export their values and their politics and all this other stuff. So this new Assassin's Creed game just seems like another extension of that, where it's like, DEI has been exported, diversity, equity, inclusion. It's been incentivized financially, and it's being pushed out to try to change people's perceptions, to create further divide with us, to create further weakness, to undermine these established companies, all for the benefit of China. And that to me is just what it is in a nutshell. It's basically China fucking with the world.
I like your conspiracy theory. It's wonderful. And I think there's layers to it. And you know the difference between a conspiracy theory and reality? It's
6 months. Yeah.
That's right. It's a great saying. So there's more to this article, which I just kind of want to finish up with here. It talks specifically about how, this is obvious. There's been a lot of talk about this game online. And for the most part, this reminds me a lot of when there was a lot of criticism about Concord, and they were like, it's white noise, it doesn't matter, right? And then what happened to Concord? It came out and right. And I feel like that's what we're getting right now with Ubisoft, where people are like, it's just the French, it's white noise, it doesn't really matter what they have to say, right? We said what we need to say, and there we go. When asked about if they've read this stuff, he said met with one final inquiry into the effect of the social media backlash to Shadows has on its dev team. The director clarified, it's a personal question. It's up to everyone to see. Do you read all the stuff that's coming out? Are you spending a lot of time on social media reading all the comments? Are you staying focused? I know some people who get affected. The social media platforms are free speech where people can do what they want. At the same time, we're very focused on shipping this title, on this last mile, polishing the quality as much as possible. We know we have a great game in our hands. We're proud of that and should stay proud of this game we've made. So, he's like, whatever, just stay focused on delivering the game, which honestly, I think if you're in that position, you probably should be saying. You should be saying, hey, just disregard everything that's going on. We're going to focus in on doing what's best for our product. So I certainly don't disagree with that statement at all. What I found interesting, Matt, while you were talking about all this, was the New York Times actually chimed in on this 2 days ago on September 11th. And the New York Times put an article out called "The Fight Over the Black Samurai in Assassin's Creed Shadows." And this whole thing really, it discredits the idea of like a lot of the criticism. I was kind of skimming through it as it went along. And it kind of, talks, I kind of skimmed over this guy, who he is, what his response is. And here's his X account here. And he talked about this, but the response here is, it's kind of funny. There's a lot of response from Japanese people, and their response says, at the very least, I think the popular in Japan claim is a lie. And they're, that's referenced in there. The game's popular in Japan. And it's like, what are you even talking about? So there's definitely a spin happening with the New York Times and this, but once again, who goes to the New York Times for their video game?
Yeah. And I think it's also important to note that, so first of all, they're not attacking the fan base. They're trying to defend their position, which I can respect, right? It's not like the Hollywood thing where it's like, the Lucasfilm, it's like, you're a bunch of racist, sexist bigots if you don't like our show. They're actually trying to justify their creative choices in a fairly healthy way. But at the same time, it's like, I think the market is really going to decide this. So like when they release, because of this controversy, it may not sell really well, but if people play it and they're like, hey, actually, like, this is a good game, the story actually makes sense, it's not completely like woke or DEI or whatever, then over time you'll see people maybe like, come over to the side as like, okay, we're going to give this a fair shot, see if the game's any good. And if it is, we're going to tell other people about it. But if it is pretty much, what everyone's expecting it to be, then chances are these guys are going to have egg on their face eventually. So
I think the egg will be flying once this game is released. Personally, I think, at this point, Ubisoft needs a miracle, and I don't think Assassin's Creed Shadows is that miracle. Personally, Hypnotic, do you think this game is this DOA, or do you think it'll just underperform?
Underperform.
Yeah,
I don't think it's DOA. I just think the Assassin's Creed name is too big. And keep in mind, even like Assassin's Creed Valhalla was the #1 selling Assassin's Creed, right? So if you look at those numbers on Steam, like if you look up Valhalla on Steam, it's really not that impressive for the #1 selling Assassin's Creed game. I think it was like 9,000, 10,000 or something like that concurrent. It really wasn't anything that wild for what's supposed to be the #1 selling game. So I think Assassin's Creed Shadows will do less than Valhalla for sure. How much less, I don't know. But to say that it's going to be a dead game on arrival, I don't think it's quite there. I would say that more about Star Wars Outlaws.
So is Ubisoft being sold, like the Assassin's Creed being sold on the Ubisoft platform and Steam?
I believe it is being sold on both.
Because I'm looking at Steam and I see it.
It's multi-release.
Yeah, I thought it was only going to be on Ubisoft.
It's day one.
Yeah. So for reference, as I just kind of do a quick glance over here, the current Assassin's Creed games over on SteamDB, my new favorite website right here. You can see Valhalla currently has 3,000, 2,700 players in it. All-time peak 15,000 players.
15. There you go.
Yeah, and same thing over here with Odyssey. Odyssey has had 62,000. Jeez, that's crazy.
Now that's interesting considering again Valhalla was the #1 selling Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, even right now there's 3,600 people playing Assassin's Creed 2. Black Flag right now has 1,100 players playing on it.
Because Skull and Bones sucks. That's why.
Dude, man. Brotherhood has 215 people playing it, and Origins right now has just about 2,000 people playing it. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with Assassin's Creed. It is when does this game come out? Assassin's Creed in the next few weeks. I believe so, right? I think it's right around the corner. Yeah,
I'll say, like I said on stream yesterday, man. Ubisoft needs this to really hit, man. Their share is at $2.70 it is bad. It is bad. Yes. They are one of the lowest shared stocks in AAA gaming. Like it's really not looking good for them. So they're traded
overseas right now. They're trading at 11.72. Here in the States, they're trading at $2.54.
Oh, it went down. Oh my god.
Yikes.
It's so bad.
Yeah, man.
This is bad.
This is a rough thing. Flickerbox kind of came in with this. As FYI, Tencent has 49.9% shares in Ubisoft and 5% voting rights. Man, that tells you pretty much everything you need to know right there.
Keep in mind too, this company is sharing at $2.50 a share, and it's already worth damn near nothing. GameStop's worth more, ironically. And on the investors call, one of the investors said, "Hey, how basically how are we looking on pre-order numbers? Are we looking good, or what's the expectations, or whatever?" And the CEO said, "Yeah, we don't discuss pre-order numbers." Imagine that from a company that is currently sharing at $2.50 a share. The CEO says, "Yeah, no, we don't discuss that." I would have pulled out right away.
If I 100% agree. I think that if they were great, they would have said something.
Yeah.
100%. And if they're not, then you go, well, and
I mean, regardless, someone's putting money into your company. You should say something instead of, we don't discuss that. That's a ballsy freaking move for a company that's about to literally go broke by definition of the word,
man,
but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Elon Musk should buy them.
Dude, I'm going to tell you this right now. Elon Musk should buy a lot of stuff. He should buy a lot of stuff. All righty. Hey, we got a few more minutes with you guys, and then we're going to give you guys an opportunity to bounce. But before we do, I need everybody to buckle your safety belts, friends. It's time to get on the spaceship and make our way to Clown World.
Clown. Clown.
All right, it's Friday. It's 12:30, which means it's time for Clown World, which, we just pretty much laugh at stupid people. And here we are. There's a lot of Clown World going on right now, especially as we get closer to the election cycle here in the United States, or the actual election. And this has nothing to do with the election, although we will have actually one thing in this that has to do with it. This just has to do with, I don't know, sanity, I guess. As we saw, this person got videoed over on TikTok, just kind of hanging out here. We'll go ahead and remove the audio here. But if you saw this bearded dude with his ponytail here.
Well, here's the thing. I saw something else this morning that would have definitely made Clown World had he not been completely naked and showing his dick just walking along in middle California. He was like this trans dude with his full dick hanging out, nothing covering it, nothing covering his boobs, and just with a bag on his shoulder just walking by.
Not too long ago, there was this thing called insane asylums or mental institutions. And I've said this publicly. I don't really listen. You vote for whoever you're going to vote for, but I'm voting for the first people that bring back mental institutions. That's who I'm voting for. And this son of a bitch probably belongs in there. We need to stop validating his 5 o'clock shadow over here. And
Jesus,
yeah. So
I feel bad for whatever's in the carrying case.
Right? Maybe it's dead.
If only it's lucky.
Maybe it's something for the Haitians.
Maybe it's his soul. It's his dead soul.
It's lunch.
It's his hate for his parents. Maybe that's what it is. Just carrying it around all day long. All right.
Probably his dinner.
Maybe. Gonna pop it on, make his way to Ohio.
Haitians, come and get your dinner. Tina, you fat wad.
Blabs is really dark. I feel like she has a lot of things up. Anyway. It's fine.
Well, she's just trying to lure the Haitians into her death
trap.
There's
a lot up there, man.
There's
a lot up there. Not just Harry Potter and smiles.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, what don't we see on the camera? That's
what I'm
the
worried
real
about.
question. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you what. This is quite interesting as well. Thank you, Blabs, for finding this. We talk about electricity. Obviously, is a very important thing in the world at all times, and we all have our phones, and they got to be charged. And if you ever want to feel anxious, leave your phone at home, right? Just don't take your phone with you. You'll be extremely anxious, but you'll also be you'll feel freed that you're no longer tethered to this device, right? But let's go to China. China. That's right. Thank you, Matt. It says, after the typhoon, the water and electricity were cut off. Chinese people desperately wanted to charge their phone because all the money is on their mobile phone. This is the idea of when you go to a cashless society, you can't access any of this stuff. So people are waiting to charge their devices so they can have access to, look at this, they're all powered in off a generator, so they can pay for things, which, through their phones.
Coming soon to America near you in about 10, 15 years.
You think so, Blabs?
Oh, yeah. That's what they want. That's what every single government wants. Look at Australia. Look at the United Kingdom here. Yeah.
Yes. Katie, she got anything on that?
I mean, cashless society. I mean, we're almost basically there. It's very rarely we pay for anything with cash, even though we still accept it as legal tender. But I can remember during the lockdowns, right, where people are like, we don't accept cash right now. And you have to use your Google wallets or your phones or your credit cards or debit cards or whatever the case may be. And it's just, it's scary because if everything's electronic and the lights go out, you don't even need to have a nuclear bomb drop on a city. You just need an EMP to wipe out all the electricity. And then everyone's just going to be tearing society apart because of, lack of resources and infrastructure and all that other stuff. So I think that much like the physical media argument, it's always a good idea to have a society that is actually based off of like a currency, a physical currency, in addition to like the convenience of like electronic stuff. So, but it doesn't surprise me, you know, China, when you move to a cashless society and, you know, there's also talk about a central digital currency, like a crypto type thing here in the United States. What that does is it gives the government ultimate control over your money. Like you don't actually own your money. It's just out there for anyone to get it, especially the government. And when it comes to the United States going cashless and going to a central, you know, currency, digital currency type thing, that just means that the government can basically take what it wants before you get access to it, before they allow you access to it. And it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. And I don't like it.
Hypnotic, you got anything on cashless societies?
Just, you know, with convenience could be an enemy. You know, if you go too far into convenience, it ends up, you know, go too far into anything, it's really bad. And I think people are way too willing to make dumb decisions for convenience. And I think cashless society is probably one of them. There should be multiple avenues for you know, I guess money. And to remove one completely, especially one that's been around forever, I think it's pretty dumb. So,
yeah. And the thing that we learn from this part of Clown World is that when society collapses, he who controls electricity controls the world. So don't stock up on gold and silver or food or toilet paper. Stock up on generators and have like a stockpile of gasoline somewhere. Yeah, exactly.
Matthew over here is going to start up a generator company. Going to start
like
selling generators.
I like it. All right, let's go to this last visit here in Clown World. Listen, I did not watch the debate a few days ago, but obviously I know all the memes that came out of it. And I'm sure that you guys have seen the Cats and Dogs song. Have you guys seen this?
It's so good. Yeah.
So obviously there's been we've alluded to the idea of the Haitians eating the cats in up in Ohio.
I actually haven't seen this.
Oh, you haven't seen this at all? Have you seen this video?
No, I haven't seen this video at all.
Okay,
so about adding it to my intro.
This has been memed out in a major way. So here you go, Blabs. Here's the next. This is the banger, 15-second banger for you.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating.
Well, that was interesting.
So it was meant to be like a burn. And what's happened is it's kind of become a meme, and it's funny that they've done it. So,
well, you know, what's interesting, Craig, is leading up to the debate, this story was all over X/Twitter, where I don't know about you, but in my Twitter feed, I actually saw a video of Haitians killing geese and eating cats and being arrested for it and stuff like that. So when Trump brought it up in the debate, I was like, well, yeah, I just saw that literally happening. And then like they quote unquote fact checked them, and it was like the city manager says that there's been no confirmed reports of this. And I was like, what? It's like there's literally video out there of them doing this. And so like I was actually surprised that there were so many people who were unaware of this, because I'm on X constantly, so like I guess I live in my little bubble.
Oh, there it is. He's in the bubble.
Yeah, but people actually thought that was like something that Trump made up. But what's great about it is that with all these memes that are coming out, people are actually starting to kind of like look into like whether or not it's true, and they're finding out that it is true. So it kind of backfired on ABC and Kamala and stuff like that.
Well, it's been interesting to see, because it has definitely become a meme over the last little bit, and it's fun to see people respond to it from all walks of the political aisle, whatever you're on. Even so, Hank Azaria chimed in.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Hank played a number of different roles on The Simpsons, most notably Chief Wiggum. At one time, he played Apu before they deemed it too racist for him to play. And he was like, I can't do it anymore. It's not, it's cultural appropriation, blah blah blah, whatever. Well, let's look past that now. As he put a little skit on on his X as Chief Wiggum responding to the cats and dogs. Let's see how this went.
Springfield Police, Chief Clancy Wiggum speaking. How can I help you? People are eating dogs? What do you mean, like hot dogs? Oh, cats. Mr. Katz is eating hot dogs. Now, people are eating dogs and cats. People are eating dogs and cats in Springfield. Are they good?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Funny stuff, man. Funny stuff. I love it. So, anyways, there you go. A little bit of clown world, and we'll see if any of those fact checks are truly fact checked. If the fact checks are fact checked after all that stuff. But appreciate you guys getting on this plane. Let's all buckle our safety belts now, and there are the exits. It's time to go back home.
Clown. Clown.
All right, it is time to say thank you for your support today, and we genuinely appreciate it. So we're going to get to some super chats, but before we do, we always like to allow our guests the opportunity to bounce at this opportunity. So if you guys would like to say au revoir, you're more than welcome to. Or if you want to stick around, you're more than welcome to do that as well. It's totally up to you. So with that said, you guys want to stick or you guys want to roll?
Well, I unfortunately have to get going because I run a podcasting studio here in beautiful crime-ridden Las Vegas.
Let's go.
So I have clients coming in that I need to deal with, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd love to stay longer.
All right, well, tell everybody where they can find you on the internets, friend.
Well, first of all, Craig, thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to be on Side Scrollers and Blabs. I'm afraid she'll death trap me though, so like I don't want to give her too much praise.
Good point.
Yeah, so like if you guys like my take on stuff, be sure to check out the Salty Nerd podcast. We also have a Salty Nerd gaming channel as well, where my co-hosts are over there playing all types of video games, having a really good time. So if you guys could show some love by subscribing over there as well, we'd really appreciate it. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Love it. All right, buddy. Well,
real quick. Sorry, I forgot. We got our live stream tomorrow, Salty Saturdays, every Saturday from 10 a.m. Pacific time to 12 p.m. Pacific time. And our special guest is Reaper from the UK. And we're going to be talking about... well, he's next week, actually.
Called it.
Yep. So we're going to be talking about all the cancel mob that's been going after people like Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, pretty much all the cancellation stuff that's been going on, free speech things and stuff like that. So it's going to be an interesting talk. And Hypnotic, we'd love to have you back on the show sometime. So check your Twitter DMs. I'm sure we've reached out a couple times before.
I'm so sorry. I'm terrible with my Twitter DMs. I'm really bad. I apologize to people more than I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
Matt, go be successful, buddy. We'll catch you later. Okay.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, man. We'll see you soon. Great stuff. All right, Hypnotic, one of the hardest dudes hardest working dudes.
Yeah. How would you know about that, sir? So anyway,
I'm learning a little more about you every day. One of the hardest dudes I know, Hypnotic. You guys go and subscribe to Fair Z Zim's channel over there.
It works.
Yes. Have you done, and I was talking about this the other day. I don't know if I said this on the show. Have you done the demographics on YouTube where they ask you to put in your demographics?
Of course, yeah. I'm a black female trans person.
Me too.
Yeah. No, why do you think my channel's doing so well?
Right. Dude, I said this. I don't think I said this on the show. I filled out those demographics, and then we saw an immediate spike like the next day. It was crazy.
Same here.
Oh, dude, wow.
I did it like a year ago-ish now. Yeah, it's 3D chess, man. 4D chess, whatever you want to call it. It's fucking
next level.
Awesome.
They're going to be like, how come we have so many black lesbians on the platform?
It's fucking great.
All right, brother. Well, tell everybody where they can find you again.
Yeah, you can find me on my main channel, obviously, Hypnotic, at Hypnotic with 2 C's because some dick stole the one with 1 C. I do 3 videos a day every day, 12/3, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live stream every day, 9 p.m. Eastern, Sunday through Friday. Hypnocast, and then obviously Saturday Night Hypnosis, 8 p.m. Eastern on the main channel. Then obviously I have side channels. I got Hypnotic Live, where I do my gaming streams. I try to do that sometime around 4 p.m. Eastern if I can. And then my manga channel where I showcase all my nerd stuff. And yeah, that's basically it, man. Thank you, Craig and Blabs, Dark Blabs now. Not my whole perception of Blabs has changed. It's okay. It's for the better. But yeah, thank you, Craig and Blabs, for having me again. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time.
You got it, buddy. Well, looking forward to you crossing that 100K marker very, very soon for sure. Keep
man. Trying.
You'll get there soon. You'll get there
Eventually.
You'll get there about the same time we do. So it'll be great. So.
No, I doubt that. I doubt that. But I appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah, my prediction is you're gonna skyrocket past us. But hey, great stuff, man. Congratulations and keep working hard. We'll catch you soon. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye, chat.
All right, Hypnotic. There he is with 2 C's over there on YouTube. You guys can find him. All right, let's get to some support, guys. Thank you again. I want to encourage you guys. I know some of you guys bounce at this time. That's fine. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out. But if you'd like to support us, please head over to sidescrollerspodcast.com. Become a member over there. Just like our latest member, which is just spectacular, the Cloud of Strife, who has become a supporter of the monthly variety. We have monthly and we have annual memberships. Annual memberships are spectacular for us because it allows us to invest into some of the content that we have coming out very, very soon. And just as a quick reminder that, hey, let's make today the day. How about if like one of you heads over and becomes a supporter over there? Get $27 off. Use the promo code GOLDEN and get $27 off. Why $27, Blabs?
Because it was released in 1997, so it was 27 years old.
That's right. GoldenEye. That's right. There you go. So you can watch that documentary on Monday. So with that said, head on over there and check out the Golden Era documentary on Monday. It's going to be great. We'll release that right before the show starts. So looking forward to you guys hopping in and your support over there. We are closing in on 100 supporters. So I think we're like 5 away, 95. So let's get to 100. That'd be great. All right, Blaz, what do we got today with the Super Chat?
All right. Spoon Ninja on Local sent $1 tip saying he was a real martial artist. His father was Bruce Lee's student. Okay. Thank you. Javi says, hey, Matthew, has your wife watched Terminator? Sorry we didn't get to ask him that. Dan says, love podcast, but that history list is lame. It's hilarious to me. You're welcome.
That's kind of the bit at this point.
Cole says, Ace Combat 04. Come on.
Come on.
Javi says, never get rid of Blabs. She's a great punching bag. Thank you. Retro says, you'll never be free from Snortverse, Craig.
I know.
Yes, we are.
I know.
Magnum says, I love you. Okay. Thank you. Diz the Jizz Prime says, to keep job Blabs, just ID is black non-binary with pronouns he's him. Well, my pinecone pronouns, okay? So we're halfway there. Joe says, hello everyone, just here to say Astrobot is a 10 on 10 game. Awesome. Brian says, the big question, Mario or Link? Mario. Diz says, what's a witch's favorite subject in school? Spelling.
But hey.
Pokey says, Blabs is dressing like a goth today and is a mass murderer and roller coaster tycoon. Run, Craig. I'm not dressed like goth. I'm just wearing a Harry Potter t-shirt. Why is this goth?
You're good. You're good, Blabs. Keep rolling.
Norm says, Craig, guess. Blink twice if you don't feel safe. Dan says, the first 2 roller coaster tycoons are the best. Made by one guy working from Atari. The rest of the sequels sucks. Yeah, the first roller coaster tycoon. You really can't beat it, even if it's outdated. Anti-Woke says, Blabs the Impaler. Yeah, and? Nathan Cassidy says, to be frank to Blabs, she's part of the Harry Potter fandom. Being in that one for extended periods of time would make you want to off someone. It's true, they are pretty horrible, some of them. I don't talk to many of them. The Worthy One says, what Blabs does in that game is not surprising. I know people who intentionally kill their characters in The Sims. See?
That's yes, 100%.
Normal behavior. Sorry, Chicharu? I think that's your name. Sorry. Invite Doki, Kershaw, Iron Mouse, and Kason to the Video Game Awards. They will bring tens of thousands of viewers. Doki goes hard on the 3D production value. Thank you. Scarfy, we can bring him back. Hypnotic has Black Jesus. Okay. Yeah, Matthew says, did you know that Mr. Miyagi was Happy Days? Well, at least the actor was. Wait, what? The actor played Mr. Miyagi was in Happy Days.
Yeah.
Shit. I didn't know that.
Hey, Blabs, I have I'm gonna tell you this right now. I have a video that's going to make your heart melt here in just a little bit. You guys who are sticking around, you guys are going to see Blabs end Friday in a major way. Okay.
Anyway,
just trust me.
Soma says, this is why I hate modern storytelling. We don't need exposition on everything. The mystery and fan theory and discussions are part of the fun. Norm says, I hide it with these edgy backstories in my normal man franchises.
Right.
Just give me a movie about muscle guy blowing stuff up for the sake of it.
Right. There you go.
Jam says, Sega Genesis adds on where the real start of the console DLC. West was thinking... In the West, when thinking about it. Sorry, I'm retarded. Master Gawa says, Blab secretly plays Tecmo's Deception games. It's a series where you set chains of sadistics, torturous traps for people fleeing your castle. Love it. Somebody send me that later. I'm gonna go see if I can find it on Steam. Matthew says, man, I feel cheated when I rent a movie on VOD and it comes out on streaming a month later. Yeah, there's no point. Hyena first is the cube has also different colors and a few special models for various releases. There was even a Gundam themed cube. Dan says there's so many rumors I've hearing it's going to be backwards compatibility of the first Switch games. Yes, we talked about that last week, I think. Raiden has become a new member. Thank you. Christian member says the games and characters for Nintendo are the brand. You put them on other consoles, it hurts the brand, which then hurts the company as a whole. Master Gaba says the 60 gig PlayStation 3 was $600 at launch, yet PS3 beats 360. Jacob says consoles need to remember that what made them viable. They are cheap, easy to pick up and play, have physical options, and need interesting ways to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to bring back couch co-op for a lot of these games. Jacob says, I also plan to get an OLED model of the Switch to replace my first-gen version that's barely hanging on, mostly to be handheld to pair with Switch 2. Gaia says, the thing keeping people within console ecosystems are their built digital library. Phil Spencer had a point when he said they lost to Sony here. Mercenary says, I still have Lollipop Chainsaw on PlayStation 3 signed. Cool. By who? Sora says, what?
Probably by the developer.
Well, I'm assuming, but anyway. Disney Plus don't have classic shorts. I want them. Sure, they're on Blu-ray or something. Xander says, Blabs, which roller coaster and Jurassic Park games are the best? Craig, don't ever go to an abandoned building with her because she wants to play a game.
No way.
The original Roller Coaster Tycoon video game slaps. Jurassic World Evolution 2 is better than Jurassic World Evolution 1, in my honest opinion. And then Zoo Tycoon 2, get all the expansions and you're set. Like, interesting. Mercenary says, all doctors are frauds. I'll never go again. Okay. Howdy says, hey Blabs, if you're looking for more cute and wholesome anime and you haven't already watched, I strongly recommend Kaguya-sama Love is War. I actually finished that like 2 months ago.
Oh,
and the movie.
What a pro.
Dude, I'm watching like 4 animes right now. I'm on it. Quatrina says, Les and bi women like hot ladies too. IGN are bigots.
Thanks, Katrina. Appreciate that.
Uriah says, wait a minute, you're telling us whammons don't play cis male games? What is this word cis? Peckerbox says, follow the hedge fund money and you will have your answers for all forms of entertainment. Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Flickerbox.
Scarfy says, AI can reduce conspiracy theories. They just do so by increasing self-deletions. Super Joe says, Repop, a secret command from Shinzo Abe's ghost. John says, Sugar Blabs, Idris Elba as Snape. Have you never heard the definition sallow skin? Anyway, Sky for the Strange says, imagine being so spiteful to a race that you antagonize a country by proxy. Short Fat Talker says, in the late 2010s, Prague said appealing to historical authenticity was bigoted. Remember the Battlefield and Kingdom Come Deliverance controversies? Super Joe says, I've been playing like a dragon, Ishin, recently, and it's a historical fiction in Japan too, but it's authentic because it's made by actual Japanese people. It's awesome, by the way. Thank you. Jade says, I heard somewhere that Japanese black could even refer to Southern Asian skin color. I don't know. Dean says, Yasuke was not a samurai. He was a servant at most a vessel. Never had a sword. That is false.
Thanks,
you.
Dean.
The Mighty Zan, I think, sent a super sticker. Thank you very much. Thomas says, All these billions lost because of 0.1% of the world population has the West by the balls for some reason.
I don't get it. Don't understand it. Not dealing with it.
Nathan says, what frustrates me about Ubisoft games is while they go to location settings nobody else does, and they make them boring as fuck. Seriously, how do you make a game about cavemen boring? Far Cry Primal.
Thanks, Nathan.
Flickerbox says, play the Asian monkey game and you are making China lots of money. Hedge fund money. The Mighty Zan says, after they killed Desmond in the modern day storyline, I think AC lost its purpose. I was looking forward to seeing where they went with it, but they screwed the pooch. No ending to the story. Kyle says, you know it's Thanksgiving in Haiti when Beethoven is laid out on the table. Ah! Jason says, if criticism is healthy, then Beardo is the healthiest person on Tuesday Night Main Events. Also for Blabs. Vanguard, Bantus, and Dew Prisms are my favorite PS1 game. All right.
You got a couple things to check out.
So many games, dude. Mr. Miyagi is awesome, but give the grandpa from the Three Ninjas any day. He even took on Graboid in Tremors.
Let's
Thanks,
go.
Shane.
There you go, Shane.
Mercenary says, signed by Tower Strong. Also same situation with.
Yes, the voice actor.
And Javi says, Blabs, will you be watching the Terminator anime? No.
Arnold's not in it. I don't think. Hey, over on Rumble says,
I don't think.
B. Barrett says, I saw Am I Racist yesterday. It was pretty good, but I think I liked What is a Woman better. I will be seeing Am I Racist later today. Saint came in and says, I remember the old Sim City game where the people, from computer class, where people had full metropolises. We would destroy them with natural disasters. Reese came in and says, to be fair, the NES was a flawed console. The top loader fixed the problem of the ZVF loading mechanism of the gray box. This is true. Thank you for that. Saint came back, says, that's all we ask for remasters. OG mode and new mode for possible censorship. That's it. I agree. Simple. Jared says, Blabs, how could you not add Burnout Revenge to gaming history? One of the best Burnout games ever made for the PlayStation 2 era. Lol. And Matt, did you know? I'm sorry. I didn't get to Matt this here. Did you know she hasn't seen any Arnold movies? I'm glad we didn't bring that up with him. So Mongoose says, it really is as simple as them wanting to push the message. Profit be damned. The audience be damned. These people don't have families, religion, or real convictions. What else gives them purpose? Dude came in and says, glad that Blabs is a free rinse supremacist. Now get on that Crag. Get Crag on that train.
It's a great show. There's like 22 episodes only. Fantastic.
Saint says you should think someone in Ubisoft would say, just try the game. I mean, that would be common sense to say. Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for that. That's great. Saint, appreciate that. All right, we are wrapped up over there. Now, I promised you, Blabs. I said I got a video that's going to make your heart melt. Okay, are you ready for this? I truly don't know if you are. All right, let me pull this up on the proper browser, because this is you're gonna go, whoa, okay, whoa. Okay, that's what I'm expecting.
Ready.
All right, here we go, Blabs. So I'm just gonna read this for you, and you tell me if you're interested in this. It says, and I quote, let me get our graphic off screen. After becoming best friends over FaceTime, two dogs finally meet each other for real. Look at that smile from Blabs. Number one, the idea of dogs being friends over FaceTime is very 2024. Well, let's check this out together.
Oh. I know.
He's just like, what the hell? Contain yourself. The husky is clearly the woman in this relationship.
Yeah.
Sadie, you good girl. Is that Sadie?
That's sweet.
I knew you'd love it. Oh, so there you go.
That's sweet.
I knew it. I knew it'd make your heart melt.
Hmm.
I knew it because you're
Dogs
a
are
woman.
the best. Listen, dogs are the absolute best, and if that doesn't melt your heart, then you're just cold-hearted, regardless of your gender.
You cold-hearted sons of bitches out there. You damn
Yes.
normal men.
Yes.
All right. Yes, that's right. Goodness wins. That's right, Token Dave. You know it. There you go. All right.
And
Guys.
he was in MASH. Wow.
Hey.
I had no idea.
Pat Morita was legit the first celebrity I ever met. I met him at Walt Disney World at Disney's MGM Studios, man.
Oddly specific.
Yeah, it was great. Pat Morita, he was doing an interview down Hollywood Boulevard. It was great. I loved it. Great memory. All right, guys, thank you very much. Once again, I encourage you, head over to sidescrollerspodcast.com. Use promo code GOLDEN. All right, we're only going to have that promo code for a little bit longer. Head over there. Take advantage of it. Once again, you got the entire year of all the extra stuff we're going to be providing for you guys. We're going to have discount codes for a bunch of partners we're going to be rolling out. We're going to be doing some exclusive stuff, some exclusive things over on the website. So become a member today. And once again, on Monday, we got Golden Era dropping. I'm really looking forward to sharing that amazing documentary with you. It is well worth it. So you support them and you get a great support us. You get a great documentary along the way. Guys, hit the thumbs up button on your way out. Have a phenomenal weekend. We'll see you guys on Monday when we're back at 11 a.m. Central Time. Going at it hard. Going strong. Going to finish strong. It's Finish Strong Friday, guys. Finish the strong week. Finish the week strong. We'll see you guys then. Remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Have a great day, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.